What's up, everyone? It's the interview queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch Tru Heel Heat.
It's a Sunday, not a Saturday, so we're gonna do a special edition of the Saturday Morning Cookout on a Sunday, because there was a lot of professional wrestling from this week with WWE Elimination Chamber yesterday morning, New Japan Pro Wrestling, new beginning in Sapporo with some of the most polarizing shows from New Japan ever, and is New Japan dead already? Is Cody and The Rock happening at WrestleMania? Has AEW hired a Mercedes Mone writer? We're going to discuss all of that this week in wrestling as only we can. It's the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. Let's get to it. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 265, beginning to surrender in the chamber, discussing the latest wrestling news, including the latest possibilities on the ongoing The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins road to WrestleMania. AEW hires a former WWE rider that is associated to Mercedes Mone. Recap of this week in wrestling with yesterday's WWE Elimination Chamber, PLE, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, Rampage, Collision. RevPro had a huge show with Will Ospreay's final UK Indie match. You had ROH TV, New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Beginning in Sapporo Day 1 and 2. TNA Impact, TNA No Surrender. There was a lot of wrestling, and I am joined by my esteemed colleagues here. First, we have the princess of all the Tru Heels. It is Miss Krssi Love. How are you doing?
Good morning. Still trying to recover from yesterday. How's everyone doing today? And it's Sunday, so usually still in bed. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Outside of my Wi-Fi and internet acting like an idiot, I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
But what's up, guys? I'm happy to be here. We have a lot. Well, I thought for a Sunday we wouldn't have a lot to talk about, but we got a lot to talk about.
There was a lot of shows this week.
Just like,
not a lot of news, though.
Right.
So that's,
no news, but
it laid off the news, gave us more shows. No, I don't have a Vince update this week.
No.
First time in 2024.
I know.
I am joined by the person who's been here for as many Tru Heel Heat flagship podcasts as I have. Well, I probably have like one up on him. Only one up on him, though, so far this year. He is the true draw. Josh, how are you doing, Josh?
I'm doing good. Just feels weird doing this on a Sunday, so
it does.
Trying to get used to it.
Felt weird waking up early on a Sunday. I'm used to like sleeping in, not waking up till 9 till one of my kids decided to sit on my head and say don't do something. But yeah, so yeah, it was weird waking up this early for the flagship. But we're here. We're live. We're live, y'all. We're here. We're gonna have some fun on a Sunday. We appreciate y'all if you are joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you are watching us on demand. Show that appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. But most importantly, the thing we love to do with all of you in our community is interact. So sound off in the live chat. We want to hear your thoughts on yesterday's Elimination Chamber PLE. I've been seeing polarizing thoughts. Some people think it was a very fun show with a raucous Australian crowd. Other people feel like it was a way too long.
Too damn
for a show
long.
with less than 2 hours.
Too damn long. Oh my God.
It's each his own. I'm one thing I won't do is I won't criticize people who complained about it because they watched. That's one thing that I won't do. I will not criticize someone who is given a criticism of something they watch. What I will do is roast the sperm cells of rappers for people who don't watch a wrestling product but seem to have criticism about it. And some of y'all are backing them up, being like, that's valid criticism. It's valid criticisms on the fan base, not the product. People saying that there was too little wrestling on Elimination Chamber is a valid criticism of the product. But we're gonna talk about all of that. I know a lot of y'all are tired, so y'all will join us late. Remember to drop that thumbs up and remember to sound off in the live chat. Say hi. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible, like Eric Isaac here, who says, hey, fellas. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here. Most importantly, you can do that with a super chat donation that always gives back to the contributors that you see on screen with us. Every little bit goes back to our contributors, and it will make sure that we highlight your comment on screen. If you have a thought that you want to have read out, you have a hot take, you have a question for any of us, or you have a statement about any of the ongoing news or shows that we're going to discuss throughout the show, you could do that with a super chat donation, or you can hit the join button and become a member of the channel, like James Hayes here the second. Thank you, James, for joining us live. He says, hello, all. He says, any update on Carmella? Not that I know of. She's
still being a mom.
A mom.
Right. Like, let her enjoy this before it gets, let her have a maternity leave. If you don't know, you need at least, you have to do the whole 9 to 10 months, and then you have to do whatever time you are allotted for your body to get back to normal. So when did she have the baby? Back in like September or something?
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
End of 2023.
So yeah, so she's still recuperating. Like she still has time. Like I don't see her before SummerSlam. Sorry.
No. I don't.
Becky came back SummerSlam. She left right after WrestleMania. She came back the following SummerSlam. Let her be and let her do what she needs to do.
Yeah. Oh, James, if you meant Camille, we'll have an update on that on the show. Don't worry.
Okay. So yeah, you spelled the wrong name. Okay, sorry.
I was like I was confused about the K.
You're right.
But then the rest was Carmella. So I was like, all right.
It's Carmella with a C, but whatever. But
Sunday. It's early.
It's Sunday.
I thought he said it like in the slang. In the slang.
Same.
Some people still call Bailey and spell it Bailey. So some people just spell things differently. But yes, we're going to talk about this week in wrestling. And yes, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We show that every single week on the Flagship podcast with our Tru Heel Roll Call, where we shout out everyone supporting us across social media and our Patreon page. Our Tru Heel Trinity, our top 3 conversation starters on the Facebook group page. We have Dalton Charles at number 3. I was about to say Dalton Castle. Number 2, Jermaine Packman. Number 1, Luis Jaden. Thank you so much for supporting us over there. And our Patreon backers, Vala B, Alan Weinstein, Nick Jackson, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin K, Robert, Steve, 5th Generation Carney, Ladarius, John, aka WrestleScopes, Dan Snide, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, DJ Eric, Marcus Ryan, James, Alan, Santo, Queen Monet, Christopher and Victoria Kidd, and Nick Tim. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. You had something to say, Krssi? I saw you look like you were about to say something, but you're muted.
No, I was screaming at children. Sorry.
Fair. I've been down that road before. Camille is spelled Kamille. I did that off the top of the dome, and I'm very proud of myself.
He was way off then. He was way off.
He got the K and the A right. He got an M in there. He got the 2 L's. He was on the path.
And then he got the ELLA wrong. Towards the end.
He got lost on the path. We're gonna start off with what we missed, but before we do that, we have a 4th competitor entering the Tru Heel Heat Flagship podcast. He's our resident Tru Heel alcoholic. He is Top Guy JJ on location.
Hi.
On vacation.
Oh my God! Look at the room behind you. Oh my God!
What's up?
You can tell that they're a fan.
Actually, so this is kind of a what's up, everybody?
Good morning.
How y'all doing? The one main person that I know that knows about this setup behind us is probably either SP3 and or Baby Seth, because that title that we held, let me make sure my fingers is doing this correctly. That one there, the Smoke and Skull one, Baby Seth and I basically rocked the hell out of it when we went to Survivor Series at Madison Square Garden.
Very nice.
That was a never before and never again title that we rocked ever so proudly, like we all bought the same title. Nah, that's the same ass one that got passed around like a joint.
Hey, that's how we did when you first got that WWE title. That's how we did it. We took all the pictures with that shit. Like it was all about
even the Ace. Even the Ace took pictures with it. He wanted to hold that title.
Exactly. Ace wanted to hold it. Suzuki almost choked me up trying to take it. Like, come on, man. But
stories behind all those things, right?
There's always stories behind them. Always behind the scenes shit to fabricate everything, you know?
Absolutely.
But yeah, good to get on here. You know, I got a flight in a couple of hours, so I might not be on for the entire show, but wanted to pop on here for a little while. And if y'all hear some kids in the background, excuse that, because there's a lot of them here. So cool. All right. Now we got that smoke out the way.
Yes, we're going to start off with what we missed. And what we missed, of course, yesterday morning, they had WWE Elimination Chamber Perth from Perth, Australia, and the show was featured and centered around the home country girl, Rhea Ripley, who defeated Nia Jax in a good David versus Goliath style main event to retain the WWE Women's World Championship in arguably Nia Jax's best performance ever.
Absolutely.
A huge moment for Rhea Ripley. Meanwhile, her opponent for WrestleMania was decided in the Women's Elimination Chamber that became a straight up showcase for Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany was the MVP of that chamber match. Thank God for her, because other than that, it was boring.
No, I really enjoyed this chamber matchup. I thought it was a great women's elimination chamber matchup with Becky Lynch beating Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Raquel Rodriguez, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton to advance to face Rhea at WrestleMania 40. Meanwhile, you had Seth freaking Rollins. He announced that he is mere weeks away from being cleared to compete once again, while Cody Rhodes officially challenged The Rock for a one-on-one match ahead of WrestleMania during the Grayson Waller effect on the show. Seth said that he would have Cody's back, but this led to Austin Theory talking a whole bunch of trash, saying a whole bunch of Rock catchphrases before getting his ass kicked by Cody and Seth. I knew there would be some sort of physicality. You didn't need this whole fucking segment. It was 22 minutes. It was 22 minutes.
It was way
22,
too long.
22 minutes for nothing we learned new.
No,
sorry. You could have done without this whole segment. The Judgment Day beat the New Catch Republic in a very fun tag team bout to retain the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. And then finally, in the men's elimination chamber matchup, Logan Paul almost got killed while before that he was drawing on the pods, which was hilarious. Drew McIntyre, in the end, though, he defeated Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley. While I will give most of the credit to AJ Styles for eliminating LA Knight, but a lot of great moments in the men's chamber, like Logan Paul pulling out the brass knuckles and Randy Orton giving us a great camera shot, one of the best camera shots of the year, where he jumps in with an RKO to eliminate Logan Paul. But that all led to Orton hitting the RKO on Drew in the final sequence and then getting blasted with the brass knuckles by Logan Paul to give Drew McIntyre the victory, as he will move on to face Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40. Miss Krssi Love, what did you think? Overall thoughts on Elimination Chamber Perth?
The shots that they shot of the whole stadium was gorgeous. I mean, I guess they had to do a one-up from what AEW did at in London, probably. I'm guessing that's what that whole shit was about, but whatever. But it was very different to see, like, their sun is setting, our sun was rising. It was really like cool to like see all that whole dynamics. However, for the show, way too long for no reason. We had four matches. Now I know we knew the chamber matches would at least be for like 45 minutes, an hour tops. We had entrances.
They weren't that. They weren't that. They were 36 and 32 minutes.
Again, I'm thinking time. I was thinking time-wise, people coming to the ring, things like that.
The entrances took like 20 minutes.
Okay, so see, there we go. So again, entrances, matches, all of that good jazz. So we knew that for two chamber matches. We knew the main event was probably going to be less than 20 minutes. No problem. Then we had the tag match, which was fine. Hate the guy, Catch Republic's name. Please change it. It's terrible. Throw it in the trash. Why? He said, I had an idea. Now we're going with the name?
Yep.
Dumb.
There wasn't a better idea. That was the one idea.
Can we just say their names then? Like, just let it just be their names.
It wasn't a good idea. It was the one idea.
The only idea that was written on paper, and he probably was the only one that thought of it. No one else thought of it. That's what I'm going with. Then we have the Grayson Waller. Grayson, first of all, for someone that is from Australia, I would think they would have given him a little bit more of something else to do besides talk to Seth and Cody. But whatever. We didn't need Austin Theory there at all. His part was not even necessary. I know that they're a duo and they're friends and blah, 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 blah. Not even necessary. I personally just was like, that's minutes we can't get back. Luckily, I was half asleep for that part of the show, but I rewatched it over. But I in and out of sleep because I came in the house at 2 a.m. Friday morning into Saturday, so I only had like 2 hours of sleep anyway. I
only got an hour.
See, so me and SP were on the same page, and SP was up.
I didn't go out. I just watched New Japan. that went off at like 4. So, yeah.
God bless you. You're doing the Lord's work, and it's okay. I appreciate you. We love you. But for me, the girl Tiffany, I mean, shine, star. When she even came out, I was like, yo, she is a freaking star. From her BFAB, take notes, friend. Like, because this is what you're supposed to look like as a star in a group of people. You're supposed to stand out. You don't do that for us, friend. I'm so sorry. It's the gear for me. Tiffany stood out. She shined when she did the moonsault off of the thing. I was like, yes, this girl right here, she's going to be a problem. Once she excels, it goes further up. I love her. Please don't make her anything else but a heel. She can't be anything else. The men, my God, wow. We knew who was going to win, but the way they did it, perfect. Didn't think AJ Styles would interfere in such a way. Mwah, chef kiss. The brass knuckles, always a factor. And it just shows like what we're going to get for Mania. And matter of fact, we don't even know, but there's so many stories that can go for Mania with Theory. We don't even know. You have KO, you have Randy now. There's so many factors that happen in, like, we don't know how that road to Mania is going to go right now. So overall, show was very mid. I'm giving the match of the night to the men. However, Nia Jax was a star that night. Nia Jax, and mind you, we've seen Nia. First of all, she's never main evented, so good for her. And she looked like a heel. She looked like a star. She was great. She did so good. Like you said, David and Goliath, even though they're the same height.
Nia's taller.
Okay, just okay, fine, whatever. Potato, whatever. But overall,
I mean, Andre the Giant's just this much taller than Hulk Hogan.
Now you gotta make me go back and look.
I'm just saying, like,
you really like that much?
You gotta keep the same energy. Yeah, you gotta keep the same energy. It was never like Big Show and Ray when it's Hogan and Andre. Right.
Okay.
No, it's like
fair.
He's just that much taller than him. It was
Andre has like the forehead on Hogan Max.
Yeah.
Really? I never. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the same height difference between Rhea and Nia. And
fair.
And that's why I said before the match, I was like, this is the new generation. Andre and Hogan. I was like, yes. They need to put the Rhea Riptide on the video packages, or put the Rhea Superplex on the video packages. I thought Nia was great here, but JJ, I want to hear your thoughts. What did you think about Elimination Chamber overall on the show itself? Did you watch it live, and what did you see on the show?
Did I watch it live? Hell no.
He went crazy like us. Okay.
Hell no. I had a beautiful little 8-year-old girl to celebrate, getting up super early, so I had to watch it in bits and pieces. But I did ended up catching 95% of it. I knew what happened in the Nia and Ripley match, so I kind of cheated a little bit. It kind of like skimmed through most of it, but I did catch the big moments of that. Show was decent. Show was decent. I don't know. I think they're starting to learn some lessons with crowd seating though. If I don't know if there was gaps in the seating because of the pillars.
Lots of empty seats. And
it's because of the pillars.
The obstructive views. Yes.
Yeah. If they put thousands of people there, they can't see the show.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of empty seats though.
Probably. It's a damn 80,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's a damn 80,000 seat arena. I mean, if you put 45,000 of them in there,
it looks great though. It looks
fantastic. Yeah. So I mean, it was what it was. I think lately they've been putting on a pretty good product, but when it comes to the premium live events, it's kind of just been on par with TV. lately.
Yeah.
Like it really hasn't been like, oh my, this like 2023 WWE was hitting on their premium live events. And,
I feel I've been saying it for months. I feel like since Money in the Bank last year, we haven't hit that level.
Yeah.
Like Survivor Series is an outlier where I thought that was a really good show, but that's a really good show. That's just a good show before like the final 90 seconds.
Yeah,
it's just
so
a good show.
They were on a roll. Like they had Royal Rumble last year, Elimination Chamber with Sammy and Roman. They had Mania, then they had Backlash in Puerto Rico. Then they had they were on a hot streak, and then they sizzled down. And they're kind of back to like their typical like regular level shows, which is they're not bad shows, but they're not like, oh my you gotta see this show. And I think if this show was 3 hours, I would be like, this is a great show.
Yes, I agree. For the time
being, none of the matches were bad. They were all good to great matches. But it's an hour and 50 minutes, and I watched it live, and I sat there for 4 hours.
And seeing the show, right? Like, and I didn't catch anybody's social media reactions or anybody's like text threads or anything like that,
except ours.
I immediately thought that Tiffany Stratton was the star of the entire show.
Yeah,
I was like, this was a breakout event for her. Like not only look out, but her execution was flawless in that ring. Like and props to the women to be there and catch her on spots.
Yes.
Like it just worked perfectly for her. Like it was so well done, and it was just like I didn't feel any star power the way I felt her breaking out. Yes, like on whatever you want to call it. Yesterday morning, this morning, last night, whenever the hell you saw it. But yeah, I actually enjoyed the women's Elimination Chamber match more than the men's one. Like this, to a degree, like there's people that's gonna feel differently, and that's okay. But I enjoyed the women because I enjoyed the execution of the women better than the execution of the men.
Okay, I like that.
So I think like JJ puts it the right way. Like
I like that. I like that.
Like when I did my star ratings for both matches, I rated both matches the same, but I enjoyed the women's match more. Like there was just more to it where every time someone came in, they brought something new. Whereas with the men's matchup, man, I feel so bad for Bobby Lashley.
Me too.
Him coming into that chamber match was just like, yo, this dude was so over 2 years ago. Now he's the least over guy in this fucking match.
When Randy Orton stood on top of his shit, I was like, it's over. It's over. It's over. When he stood up there, I was like, oh yeah. How y'all going? First of all, why did he have to stand on the Black Man? It's Black History Month. That's very disrespectful, but whatever.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even appreciate that. I was like, why didn't Bobby Lashley have to go? Why he couldn't stand on top of Logan Paul's like a chamber? Because you know, him and Logan had that whole issue, so that's what would make Logan do the stuff. No, they didn't do that part. I was like, this disrespect is black, even with Naomi. Disrespectful.
Oh man, Naomi, yeah, I was like, everybody looked good in that women's chamber matchup. Everybody got something out of it, except for Naomi. I was like, Naomi, they did her dirty with the way that she got eliminated on like a flash roll up after she did a move.
Right.
Yeah. And then I think for just to wrap that, put a bow on just the thought process is literally the only reason they had the entire Grayson Waller segment was for the crowd to sing Seth Rollins' song and for the entire crowd to sing Cody's song. That was literally the entire purpose of the entire segment because the rest of it was dog shit. Like the rest of the entire thing was dog shit. That shit could have been on Monday Night Raw, but they wanted Perf to have the crowd participation and get
and what's the name is from Australia too, so you had to get him
on the show. They lumped them all in together.
You gotta get all the Aussies there.
I thought that was a complete absolute waste of time. Tag match was actually really good too. Tag match was nice.
It was.
Tag match was fun. Like really good stuff. I'm glad to have Pete Dunne in a high profile situation again because geez, like we hated this Butch shit for 2+ years or however long it was.
That was all Vince's foolishness.
Like no one was buying it. No one was really calling him Pete Butch seriously. No. Even in mistake, calling him Pete Dunne just in tongue, just because that's who he is. So it was good to see that. Men's Chamber, good match. I did like how they played the potential of about maybe 3 matches for Mania out of that one match.
That's why I said on the review yesterday with Josh that the Men's Chamber had better storytelling. Than the Women's Chamber, because it set up a lot of the WrestleMania scene on SmackDown.
Yep.
I feel like WrestleMania is going to be long and drawn out. God bless us for those who are attending, because
it's 2 nights.
I'm so mad I can't like drink.
It's going to be 2 long nights apparently.
I'm going to need so much stuff, and I'm not going to be able to take it because of the kids. And I'm really, really sad about that.
She said stuff.
You know what I mean, friends.
I'm gonna have to take some stuff. Some stuff. Mommy's just gotta go take her stuff. Okay, I'll be right back.
Solid show overall.
Right, but like SP said, the matches were good. It's just the video packaging. Like for me, I get just video packaging. I don't get commercials. So the Bailey one we didn't need, but the other ones were told for the stories for the next thing. You could have saved them and trimmed them down a little bit and just saved them for Mania. I don't know, but again,
y'all saw it live. Yeah, I see none of that shit.
Oh, that's right. Because
I got commercials. I had to sit through commercials. I had to sit through like an hour's worth of commercials.
That's
crazy.
It's something that you got to be like, damn, like this is. Then it's like. SP kept saying, okay, this is going to start at this time with all the entrances. Thank God for you, Romeo and Chase, because I don't know.
I was calling it good. I was like, this shit ain't going to start until like an hour from now. I was like, and especially when the tag team match happened.
Yes.
And then they said the Grayson Waller effect was next. I was like, we're looking at like an hour of no wrestling. It went in between the end of the tag team bout to the start of the Men's Chamber. It was 55 minutes of no wrestling with a 22-minute chalk show in the middle. Josh, any final thoughts about yesterday's Elimination Chamber that you didn't say already on the review yesterday?
No, I mean, I pretty much feel the same. I mean, I feel the same like I did yesterday. Show's predictable. And the show just felt it was very stagnant. Like I said before, like it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like, it wasn't great, I would say. I mean, it was a good show. Like all the matches were fun to watch, but it's just like a show that I will go back and watch. Probably not. But that's how they've been doing. That's what they've been doing with their premium live events ever since probably SummerSlam.
Yeah, you don't have to go back and watch them over.
It just feels stagnant. Nothing special feels like it's happening. At most, you could say is the CM Punk return since then. That's about it. But yeah, I feel the same. Like I rated it. What was it? 7.25. So it was a good show. Mm-hmm. It's just nothing. It's not going to be nothing memorable.
Yeah. And mainly when we're giving scores on what happened on the show, not all the commercials that were on the show.
Correct.
So our grading, if I was grading on my experience watching Elimination Chamber, it would have been much lower than 7.5. I will say that much.
Oh yeah, and then also I was one of those who had a good night's sleep and then just watched it when I woke up. That's all I did.
Smart man.
I mean, listen,
it wasn't worth it. Like honestly, like if I had to wake up at 5 a.m, that's not a show that's worth it, in my opinion. Like I could go back and say maybe Wrestle Kingdom,
it's been a rough weekend. It's been a rough weekend because I stood up for New Japan shows that wasn't worth it either. We'll talk about that too.
Really, New Japan was not worth it.
Damn, homie, my man.
Which was expected. To be honest with you, it was expected with that card, with the cards that they had and the people that were leaving. It was kind of expected, but I just didn't know it was gonna be that bad. I didn't know it was gonna be like. I didn't know it was gonna be that mid.
There was matches that fell way below expectation. It wasn't supposed to be that bad. It was supposed to be a good show.
I mean, as in like I mean more so as in like mid. You know, like how when we have Wrestle Kingdom, that's like, oh shit, I gotta wake up for this. Like the New Japan shows kind of felt like that. And then when I was seeing you giving feedback on it, I was like, oh man, that doesn't sound good.
You got Osaka. Osaka's one of the best shows of the year, and then you get this.
I'm here for some SP slander on New Japan. I don't get to see this very often.
Oh, he's been doing it for a while. He's been doing it for a while.
Yes. All last year.
Remember, Josh, I make this shit once a month if I'm lucky. And you,
I know.
New Japan.
I'm saying he's been doing it for a while. He's been doing it for a while. You gotta give props to Gato for that, for making it happen.
Okay, cool. Gato, I need that SP energy.
We got a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Christopher Kidd. Christopher Kidd says the women had better individual stories than all of the men. Each woman had a story or has a gripe with Rhea. If you're black, it is what it is in WWE. I will say though, I was more excited about the men's chamber coming out because of the things they set up in it than I was for the women's chamber. So I don't know if I think the women had better stories within their matchup, but I don't know if they had better stories coming out of their matchup like the men did. But yeah, the men, there was just a lot of men in that matchup where I was like, you have no chance of winning this, sir. So I can't see caring that much. And that was the issue with the women's chamber as well, but it was at least exciting enough. It was exciting enough because Tiffany was in the reaction for her. She came in third and she just brought like a bunch of energy. Liv comes in and she's throwing Tiffany off the pods and shit. Then Raquel comes in and she's booked like a monster. Then you got Bianca coming in and she's doing power moves. That standing moonsault. People are not talking about that standing moonsault that Bianca Belair did. Yeah, she went almost nearly halfway across the ring and did not hurt the people she was doing the moonsault to. People that do it literally hit them with their knees all the time. Bianca went smoothly over both bodies.
Are you talking about the one that she hit both women with?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that was good. Yeah, you're right.
Listen,
but I just
so smooth.
It was smooth, but Tiffany's, hers was more impactful. I'm so sorry.
With all due respect, the only thing I had a little bit of hate on during that entire match was whoever Bianca Belair's makeup artist was that match. Because I was like, what the hell did they do? Why did they choose that shade on her? Because it powdered her up completely.
My only gripe with the matchup is that,
like, even my brother doesn't watch this shit at all. He was like, why does her face look so much lighter than her body?
So white, so like, chalky.
Yeah. But my whole gripe with this is that, like, when the bell rang, it was just like, man, WWE made a mistake by making it so obvious that Becky was going to win this shit because a lot of women had good stories. Like Liv has the revenge tour. Bianca and Rhea have been teasing a big time WrestleMania matchup.
I think that's the better story. I think that's the better story, but whatever. I mean,
nah.
Bro, not at the moment. Not at the moment.
We talked about it. We talked about it on the chamber preview more, but I'll say it here is that you have to make the Bianca Rhea match now bigger because the time to do it was last year. You now have to do it big. You now have to do it bigger. And what's bigger? It's going to be Rhea Ripley, champion for I don't know how many years, versus Bianca Belair, undefeated at WrestleMania. That's how you make the match bigger than it would have been last year.
Okay.
So I don't think they're gonna do that match until like 42. I'm just warning y'all.
And
then, because they still want to do Bianca and Charlotte. They're gonna do that next year. That's why I think that me and Romeo was talking about it. I think that Becky's gonna beat Rhea because
you think so? Yeah.
What does Rhea have after Becky? There's no money match after Becky, so she kind of has to lose to Becky to set the rematch as a money match.
But then we have to do another Becky run.
It doesn't have to be,
which is fine. Which is fine. I think she's cleaned up a lot of her, like, wrestling and all that stuff to make it presentable now. So I'm fine with her being champion. But even right now, like the stuff, like I said yesterday, like I was praising the fact that the 2 segments that Becky and Rhea have had have been incredible. So, I mean, I'm all for that at the moment.
I feel you. We got another super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Chuck Berry says, I'd prefer big, strong bruiser wheat over New Catch Republic. And their song sucks. Yeah, the New Catch Republic
a lot
name
of the songs sucks. A lot of
this is the worst era of WWE music.
Terrible. Like you can't even I think it's just a lot of music and no words. And it's not even good music.
Honestly, I think the era with WWE with no music is even better than what it is now. That's how bad it is.
Why this whole change of like I liked the big strong boy and the bruiserweight and having their own separate interests, and then they come out to that shit yesterday. And I was like, wait, come on, yo, y'all just know how to kill someone's steam.
Yeah.
Like New Catch Republic, that shit sounds like a musical fucking rock band about to come out and play some alternative music or some shit.
It doesn't even it's long, it's dumb, it's just bad. Like it's not like New Catch Republic.
Did they have a story on SmackDown introducing the name like this?
No, Krssi literally talked about it earlier. She's like, they usually Tyler Bates said, I got a suggestion for our name.
Right.
It's to be New Catch Republic. Pete Dunne said nothing in response. He did not make us frown, so he took that as a yes, and now they're New Catch Republic. But I don't think the name is as bad as the music. The music is worse than the name. The name is like WWE. Y'all literally have the easiest things in front of y'all, and y'all choose not to do it. You've had Street Profits with Bobby Lashley for nearly a fucking year now, and they're still Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. When you could have called them Street Business a long time ago.
You're right. You're absolutely
Tyler
right.
Bate and
How do they
Pete
have
Dunne,
a name? Yeah.
Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne were British Strong Style, an excellent name on the independent scene that's not copywritten and you can use it, and you decide to say, no, New Catch Republic.
Yeah, it's just like they I don't know who it is at the round tables or who, like, what are they doing? Like, let the guys even figure it out. I don't know, but it's like they just had the one name and then that was it. And like you said, that's terrible. That Bobby Lashley and them is just Bobby Lashley and Street Profits instead of Street Business. And their momentum is not going.
And another good point about Bob Lashley being eliminated first in the chamber too. And it's
Naomi too. She was the
Black
first
History
one.
Month.
And they selling them terrible ass t-shirts.
On Black History Month.
Well, I mean, it's not the first time that Lashley's been eliminated quick. Remember that time when they rolled him off when Brock?
And he didn't even get eliminated in that one.
Yeah, I'm saying like he got written off. He basically just got written off.
Yeah.
During the match.
Just terrible. Like, but yeah, he came out and they the disrespect on Bobby Lashley's name, son. Former champion. Former, like
2-time WWE champion.
That's what I'm saying.
Yo, do you believe that Logan Paul is rated higher than Bobby Lashley at 2K?
That's insane. That's insane. Logan Paul is the same rating as Gunther in WWE 2K.
Yep.
Yo, I saw that shit because apparently people were coming out based on their rating score. So if you had a lower rating in the chamber, you were coming out first. Because Kevin Owens had the lowest rating, he came out. And Bobby Lashley had the lowest rating that he came out. It was like, yo, they're coming out based on their fucking ratings. Like, are you kidding me?
It's so bad.
Yeah, he probably paid 2K with his crypto scam money. So I probably figured that.
He's thinking. He's
a
thinker. He's a thinker, guys. Twan Mack making an interesting point. He says, I wonder if the Mania crowd will turn on Becky. Rhea is kind of over right now. Do y'all think that Becky will be booed at WrestleMania against Rhea?
No.
I think a lot has to do with how the story plays out.
Yeah, and then also because I mean
yesterday
she was home. So it's like if you would have done it yesterday, then yes, she would have been booed out of the building.
Oh, hell yeah. But
anybody.
it's like if Becky delivers over these next 6 weeks, then it will be passable for the fans to cheer for her. But if she's kind of if she's kind
They
of
want them to main event really badly, but I don't see it happening at all.
or if mommy starts
fans?
crushing
Oh well, the Becky fans always want Becky to I mean, I think Becky fans and the anti-Becky fans are kind of weird. I'll be honest. I think both sides are very weird because I saw a lot of the anti-Becky fans that were like, "Is Becky Lynch over push?" And I'm like, dude, she had spent like the whole last year in a feud with a legend and losing to everybody.
Almost 2 years.
In NXT,
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, she hasn't held the title since she lost to Bianca in 2022.
Yo, she's been.
But it hasn't been. I mean, I'll give them credit when it's due. I mean, it hasn't been as bad as it was back in 2019 because that was probably the worst. Like when it comes to anti and pro Becky fans, that was probably the worst year.
When it was Ronda, her, and Charlotte, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was by far the worst year. Like that whole entire band run.
I'm sorry. Still, Becky fans.
It was bunch.
We're freaking delusional in telling me years later they would still tell me, "Oh yeah, Becky was a part of the reason why that main event." I was like, no, Ronda was gonna main event regardless. It's just Becky got over to the point she forced herself into the situation. There's two different things. It's two different things. Yeah, the Becky fans actually believed that one time that she getting over was the reason why women main event at WrestleMania. And I laugh at that. I laugh at that till this day. And that the anti-Becky fans hated Ronda, and now Becky's got a book that's coming out where she talks about how she loves working with Ronda. So it's great. It's great. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Becky Lynch fans meltdown. It's gonna be great.
I think she's gonna do great stuff. Becky's gonna do great stuff. She's gotten again. She's presented better now. Like she cleaned up her mic skills. She's fantastic in the ring now.
She can we said it herself. Like she's really like she's definitely done a whole good 360 improvement. I think since she's came back from having her daughter.
Yeah, I think we said that yesterday. We was like having a baby made her a better worker. Made her a better worker and a better character worker as well.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, she's a better mountain climber than somebody just sitting at the top. Like she's one of the best underdogs in the entire company. Like she's somebody that scratch and claw, like that story, and that takes months to do. So I'm glad that they took the months to do it and not just catapulted her straight from like Money in the Bank. And she's been in title matches back to back since SummerSlam. And then she goes and wins a Royal Rumble. And then she's catapulted to WrestleMania. No, she had to lose and lose and lose. And now she got a big win. And now it's literally, we got 6 weeks to make this shit happen.
Yeah, 6 whole weeks.
Now she got her win back against Nia, and then that kind of like catapults her to WrestleMania.
Exactly. Well, before Elimination Chamber, you had SmackDown this week. The show featured Drew McIntyre and LA Knight in the main event ahead of the men's Elimination Chamber matchup. This match had Drew getting the win via disqualification after Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, Bobby Lashley, and Randy Orton all got involved in a huge brawl, setting up the men's Elimination Chamber and ending with Randy Orton hitting a big RKO on Drew McIntyre, which makes the ending of the men's Elimination Chamber make even more sense. On the women's Elimination Chamber side of the build, you had Tiffany Stratton. She picked up a win over Liv Morgan in a decent little matchup, thanks to a distraction from Bianca Belair, who Tiffany slapped across the face. The New Catch Republic, they picked up a win over the Judgment Day B team of Dirty Dom Mysterio and JD McDonough. Afterwards, they got into it with the tag team champions. Yeah, the B team. The tag team champions and stood tall against them. You also had the Authors of Pain. They beat the Street Profits in their first tag team matchup between these two duos. And then finally, you had Braun Breaker making his SmackDown debut, picking up a win over Dante Chin with the spear. So pretty good episode in the lead up to Elimination Chamber, but we are all talking still about the lead up to WrestleMania. We are done with the final stop before WrestleMania 40. So all the eyes are pointing to, the main event of WrestleMania 40, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, and what's going to be the night one main event. You brought up the option of Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, but let's talk about what it seems like WWE is leading up to. The Wrestling Observer newsletter had more details on the timeline leading up to the WrestleMania 40 main event announcement, including when Cody Rhodes knew about it. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Rhodes was told he was facing Roman Reigns back in the fall of 2023. He wasn't told about The Rock getting the match, which was said to be part of Rock's January 3rd deal to join the TKO board of directors. Any interview Cody did about finishing his story was done thinking he was legitimately getting the match, even with rumors of Rock's involvement. Rhodes was then told at the Royal Rumble that even though he was winning the Rumble matchup that night, Rock was facing Roman Reigns. He was told he would face Reigns later, so that's why he stared down Reigns immediately after winning. The Rock's involvement was kept secret.
TVA, bro. I'm sorry. I see TVA.
The Rock's involvement was kept secret from all but a few, because Rock wanted his angle on SmackDown to be a surprise. At the time, CM Punk was then going to win the Elimination Chamber to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Had Punk won the Rumble, there wouldn't have been a chamber match for the title shot, as Rock wasn't going to have his first match back anywhere other than WrestleMania. Either way, Punk got hurt, and that changed plans. Although at that point, Rhodes was set to face Rollins instead at WrestleMania. The feeling backstage was that the angle of Rock stepping in for Rhodes worked perfectly and got the reaction that they wanted. However, the live reaction was different from the social media backlash. The company decided to lean into it, and Rock used it to turn heel, and the match was changed back to Rhodes versus Reigns. There were people backstage who knew before Rhodes did, although it was kept quiet. This included those who booked the T-Mobile Arena for the WrestleMania press event and those involved with the deal to bring Rock onto the TKO board. That deal was in heavy negotiations all the way back in December. So as far as this whole new secret timeline, the 616 secret timeline of WWE, this is according to Dave Meltzer, and I've said it once on this channel.
We don't believe.
I will say it 1,000 times. No, I'm not saying all of that. Not saying not to believe Dave Meltzer. I'm actually saying not to. I'm not saying not to, and I'm not saying that you should. I'm saying that all of this reporting is coming from the Rock side of things. Dave has made it no secret. He is friends with the Rock. He has talked with the Rock. He has people within the Rock circle that he talks to. He was doing reports on young fucking Rock when it was on NBC, because he has sources in the Rock's team. This is all coming from the Rock's point of view. Basically, this is point A of the version of the story. We don't know what point B of Cody's side of the story is yet, and we don't know what point C, which is somewhere in the middle of both of those sides, where is the truth. Top Guy JJ, what do you think about this secret timeline as according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter?
Bunch of fucking cap. That's like, come on, man. Like they knew they were riding with this Rock and Roman shit this entire time. Like them eggs was in that motherfucking basket. Them shits was in there. And they weren't sure. Like, it's okay to do things on a whim. It's okay. Like,
but it has to be executed properly on a whim. That's the whole thing.
It doesn't have to be, oh my God, we knew about this since the summer. We knew about this since the fall. We knew that The Rock was going to waffle since the summer and the fall. Like, no. Like, it's okay. Like, we can tell when shit is like spring reaction. Like that's literally what the fuck happened. Like, you're not gonna have a man win the Royal Rumble in front of 40,000 people, point at a motherfucker in a box, and then he give up that spot 5 days later, and then 5 days after that, he takes his spot back. Like, no, cap. It's all cap. Like, I ain't buying
but it's like,
none of that shit.
Right. It's like how did we get here? Like, what's the like? Why did he win the Royal Rumble? Oh, we made this so he could be a part of the whole storyline and 10 different stories, and they could go 15 million ways. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
They don't have any clue of what's gonna happen at all.
They thought that him giving The Rock the shit was gonna be, oh my God, this is about to be the biggest thing ever. Like, Cody is such a good, honorable man to give up his spot to Roman Reigns, and then Cody will get his moment at foreseen time. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. We watched the Royal Rumble and we watched that motherfucker point right to him. Like, he made that decision in 20 seconds.
Yep.
That shit, he didn't wait till Raw. He didn't wait. He did
it that night. We watched it all together.
Ring. And he gave it up, and people's like, nah, B. Like, y'all niggas get, because y'all niggas don't get y'all fucking shit right with The Rock, and then he don't commit to y'all motherfuckers until Wednesday. Don't give y'all the right to all of a sudden just hook, line, and sink us and make us believe a whole new story and then make it the biggest thing ever. Get the fuck out of here. Like, cap all the way on my belief point of view of it. But yeah, all cap to me. All cap.
Where do you stand on this report, Krssi Love?
I just want WrestleMania to get here because I'm over the whole BS right by now. Like, the way the anxiety is working, and just like I don't know if the kids are gonna have to console them as they cry, or what's going to happen that night, because it's so much crap. Cap, like you guys said, like this. I don't believe anything until we get to like 2 weeks before. Like, anything that's happening now, I'm just like. And then even when he was like, I want to meet The Rock, and then you saw Seth Rollins was like, what? Like, they don't even believe you.
Yep.
Like, we don't believe you.
You need more people.
You're right. Like,
no, Frantic World.
You don't have the answer,
you're thinking the movie. You're not thinking the show. Cody is actually low key.
He definitely
Cody is low key. Cody is not as, like, clever and violent as Deadpool. He's more of a low key. He dresses up in suits. He's trying to save the world.
Yep.
That type of thing.
Yep.
Josh, what do you think about this whole report of the timeline according to Wrestling Observer newsletter?
I mean, I've been saying it last week. I think it's all a crock of shit, and I still feel that way. Like I said it last week, I was like, it's all crock of shit, but at this point, it doesn't really matter because they're making it right. So it's like, it doesn't matter where it comes from at this point, right? It doesn't matter where it comes from. I just know
that's why you
I
can't
just
believe
know that
The
Rock's full of shit.
Yeah.
Like even when The Rock says like, oh yeah, they expected the reaction, The Rock is full of shit when it comes to that. But it's okay. He could fool us with that. That's okay. But as long as they make it right, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at this point.
I keep stressing the part though that through them tripping over themselves, and they have somehow made Cody versus Roman bigger than last year, which was always my question about if Roman winning last year, and then the Cody fans telling me, oh, Cody's gonna come back, he's gonna do it again this year. I was like, is he gonna be as over? Is it gonna be as a big match as Cody Rhodes coming back from injury, winning the Royal Rumble, facing Roman Reigns in the hottest storyline ever? And the reason why it is The Rock.
Yeah.
For better or worse, the thing that all these Cody fans are hating on is the reason why his match is even bigger this year.
Yeah. And that's why I don't mind it personally. I know everyone's like talking about the whole story. My thing was never about the story. It was just like, hey, if this is what you're gonna do, you had the man win the Royal Rumble, then don't make him look like a bitch and then hand his main event over. That was the problem. That was the problem. Had nothing to do with, oh, he needs to finish the story. Because even if Cody lost at the Rumble, I would have been fine with that. Because I was already accepted for that. Because I thought Punk was gonna win.
Right.
But then
we
all of a
did,
sudden, when
yep.
Cody won, it was a shock. I was like, "Holy shit! Cody Rhodes won again. They made him a 2-time Royal Rumble winner. What the fuck?"
I
So
still
it was
have not
shocking.
been. I still have not been convinced that Nick Khan wasn't under the same thinking as all of us, and that's why he did not tell Triple H that The Rock signed the deal to do a match at WrestleMania. I'm still
Probably not.
convinced. I have not heard any report that denies the fact that the reason why that wasn't communicated to Triple H to not have Cody win the Royal Rumble because Rock's getting the match is because everyone thought Punk was winning.
Like I really thought Punk was winning, and that's why the thought in my mind was never Cody winning the Royal Rumble. So when it happened, it was like, holy shit, we're getting a rematch at WrestleMania 40. And then when all that shit happened with The Rock, I was like, oh, like this is how they're gonna do it, really? So I mean, again, they're making it right. Like at this point, who cares? As long as they're entertaining, they're doing something great with all this shit that's going on, because we don't even know what's going to be night one for WrestleMania, which I still think is going to be the tag match. I think they put too much stock into that to not be that not happening.
So you think so too, JJ? We're getting the tag team match of Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus The Rock and Roman Reigns night one? Or are we getting Cody Rhodes versus The Rock, like Cody said at Elimination Chamber?
Something tells me Cody is doing double duty that night. Like something tells me Seth is not going to do double duty. Seth will be in Cody's corner. And I think the bloodline will be something is not going to go right about this whole thing. Something's not going to, I'm telling you, something's not going to be done right.
Hold on.
And whatever, something ain't going to be done right. I don't see a tag because I don't see Seth performing twice.
Seth can't perform twice.
I don't see Seth performing twice.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, it's a tag team match.
Yeah, he can. And I think three of them in that match are gonna do double duty. I think three of them. I think Seth does double duty, Cody does double duty, and Roman does double duty.
Because you know why? They've never done it before, and that's all they can say the whole fucking weekend. Three guys, for the first time ever, are going to main event. Oh, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are going to be the first superstars who ever main evented back-to-back WrestleMania. Oh, no, the first ever superstars who main evented 3 straight WrestleManias against one another. WrestleMania 39 night 2, WrestleMania 40 night 1, and WrestleMania 39 night 2 was Cody versus Roman. WrestleMania 40 night 1 will be Roman and Rock versus Cody and Seth, and WrestleMania 40 night 2 will be Cody and Roman. Therefore, they would make history of 3 straight WrestleMania main events.
But I was telling you guys, y'all was like, "Oh, he's not working 2 nights." I was like, "If you make him work 2 nights, he will work."
No. You said this last week, and I corrected you. I'm correct you again. I said Roman Reigns is not going to have 2 back-to-back singles matches. That was what I said.
Right.
Yeah, and SP3 also said like, if he's gonna stand in the ring for 10 minutes, then that's fine. Like he's gonna stand in the corner for 10 minutes. That's all he really needs to do, and that's all they really need to do.
Let me tell you, it sounds like a logical thing, but I don't believe it's happening. I don't believe that that Roman Reigns today is working 2 nights in a row. I don't believe Seth Rollins coming back from injury is working 2 nights in a row. I don't believe it.
That's gonna happen.
Seth Rollins is not the one you should be questioning here.
Right? Yeah.
Seth Rollins would have to be shot in the fucking head to miss a WrestleMania main event. That's the thing he's been talking about his entire career. It doesn't matter if he has one leg. No legs, no arms, just a head that they roll to the ring, or put on the apron, put a head and shoulders on his body to make it his body. That's how he would be in the main event of WrestleMania. It's the main event of WrestleMania. He has literally made that his life. It does not matter if he's 100%, 2%, 20%. He will be in that match.
And they'll do it for the extra Mania money.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, you guys paying me double? Shit, I'll do it.
And why do you think he's trying so hard to rehab? That's why he said he's weeks away. He's working his ass off.
Gotcha. So the question, all right. So then, listen, if it happens, then it's better TV. Somehow convince me that Roman.
It's just that because they put so much stock It's because right now they put so much stock into that it's like that has to happen. It's like even that video package they did during like the Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah,
that
convinced me.
The
trailer gave it away. It
gave to me that's like
the trailer's giving 4-way vibes. Yes, it is giving 4-way vibes.
4-way vibes.
No, tag team. If it was 4-way, it would be like,
oh my god, you know what I'm talking about. Like they're all gonna be directly involved in the entire weekend.
JJ, I'm not specifying that to correct you. I'm specifying that in case someone hears you, and then that's the new thing they want of a 4-way matchup. Because I have seen people who said that's a thing that they want.
It would be the biggest idiots in America. It would be the biggest idiots in America and have not watched any TV over the past 5 weeks.
That'll be worse. That'll be worse. And I tell everybody that I know people. I remember when it even so when he said the triple threat like Rock, Mone, and Cody, I'm like, no, like that's garbage. Don't do that. Don't do that at all, please.
I'm telling you right now, and you know what? And the Grayson Waller segment might have just given you a hint that it will be a tag match between the four of them.
Good stuff.
I'm telling you right now, if Roman Reigns works night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania, that motherfucker is not coming back on WWE TV until SummerSlam.
He's done. He might be done for the year. That might be it for him for the year. That's why I'm very much confused on why y'all think like, oh, he's not gonna do back-to-back singles matches. He will do a tag team matchup that's 15 minutes and he stands on the apron for 10 minutes. He will do that. That's fine. He does. That's what he does. That's what he does when he shows up for an episode of SmackDown. He does an angle, does a few bumps, goes out the ring, comes in, he did a War Game. Like that's it. That's all he do. Yeah.
Remember War Games? He sat down longer in War Games than the actual match. Like than working the actual match.
He said he had a chair. He sat down and he waited until it was his time to go. That's true. I remember.
It's crazy, bro. Like, yeah. I mean, listen. I just want to enjoy it, but like if it happens, great. But just know if we see that happen and it materializes into that, y'all better save for that shit because we ain't seeing Roman Reigns and at least until the end of the summer.
100% agree with you there. I do agree with you there. WWE star Raquel Rodriguez was in action in the Women's Elimination Chamber at yesterday's show after returning to win the Last Chance Battle Royal on Raw this week. But she was recently diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome, which is MASA's, is MCAS. She also had a flare-up ahead of the show. She was very noticeably red in the face, and she put it up on Instagram that she had to wear kind of a different type of makeup for the flare-up. She said, if you had told me that on the long flight to Perth, Australia for the first time, it was going to blow up my face up and turn the same color as my pink satin pillowcase might have been the makeup on Monday too, I would have still jumped on that flight. Maybe my trip didn't go as planned, but I'm still learning this new body of mine. A big part of being a female wrestler for WWE is getting to sit in that makeup chair with our amazing makeup team who I love so much and getting to get dolled up. It's part of being a girl. It's part of feeling fully the part. At the end of the night, I'm proud I went out there Alicia Keys style. Even if this trip didn't go as planned, I'm still grateful that I'm blessed to be in the Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia with 4 other talented women, and I got to hug a koala bear, so it was a win for me. Thank you so much to the lovely Vanessa of Lipthantic Massage Perth for seeing me last minute 3 times to help me feel my best for the chamber. Your grace, kindness, and knowledge was a godsend. So credit to her for going
for
through
even doing that. Yep,
absolutely.
Because even when she shows the pictures online, you're like, wow, like this is like, and it's just like a flare up of like, I thought it was like she just broke out like a allergic reaction, but no, it's just like when you like read in details of like what it is, it's like, oh my god, like that's like some serious like things. And like, you know, I know she was injured, but I was like, I guess that had to deal with most of the stuff why she has not come back as well, because it just flares up in like crazy places.
Yeah, Tenille Dashwood has the same thing. That was one of the things that she was dealing with. Emma.
Tenille Dashwood.
Emma. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully she, you know, it's not something that she has to keep going through over and over again. But final note from elimination.
Dermatologist or somebody that can like help to like at least like level it, where it could just like be very like minimal, where like will flare up.
Last note from WWE Elimination Chamber, one person who was missing from the show was Australian-born WWE superstar Bronson Reed. Fightful Select provided an update this week saying that the original plan for the Elimination Chamber was for Bronson Reed to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. This was previously hinted at by Reed's promos on Raw, where he said he would be going after a champion who has no idea that he was coming for them. Those plans fell through after Seth Rollins suffered his MCL tear and partially torn meniscus. As a result, Rollins was not able to physically work the event. He appeared instead on the Grayson Waller effect. On Thursday, though, when Reed wrote on social media, my people, yes, my wife is pregnant. No, that is not the reason I'm not at hashtag WWE Chamber. Thank you for your concerns. Sometimes the stars don't align. The reason he was referring to was Seth Rollins' injury. However, things work out in the end as Bronson Reed revealed that he missed WWE Elimination Chamber for a good reason. He became a father. Reed posted on Twitter on Saturday morning. Full disclosure, originally I was set to be at hashtag WWE Chamber. It would have been an incredible moment. Unfortunately, plans change, but everything happens for a reason. My wife and I have had our baby early. I was supposed to miss the PLE to make sure I'm here for my family. Thank you for all your support to all my friends and family who have reached out to Triple H for guiding me. Now I'm not just big, I'm a big papa.
Aww.
While Reed was originally willing to work the Elimination Chamber event before his wife was due to give birth, things seemingly worked out for the best since his wife ended up giving birth earlier than expected. On behalf of all of us at Tru Heel Heat, congratulations to Bronson Reed and his family.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Good for him.
I will also note, though, you were missed because I feel Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins would have made yesterday's show a lot better.
Yeah.
Why you sound so hesitant? Why you sounded hesitant with that, Krssi? It sounded like you halfway believe that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying you can.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
She's like, it's still gonna add up to about 2 hours and 20 minutes of wrestling on a 4.5 hour show.
I don't know if the show it still probably would have been mid for me, but okay. Like you said, we had good matches. It was just long and just drawn out. So, hey.
Yeah. We got WWE Raw this week. I thought it was a really good show. It was a pay-per-view quality show, and a lot of that came down to their bookend matches. Raw was featured Drew McIntyre defeating the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes in a great opener, thanks to interference from the Bloodlines, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. It was Drew getting a win thanks to the Bloodline, the whole reason this man turned heel, which was a great character moment. The Judgment Day beat R-Truth, The Miz, and DIY in a fun multi-man tag team matchup, while Chad Gable got his win back over Ivar in another very good match between those two men. Meanwhile, Raquel Rodriguez, as previously mentioned, she returned to win the Last Chance Battle Royale to qualify for the Women's Elimination Chamber match, and Gunta defeated Jey Uso in an excellent main event matchup to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Thanks, of course, to Jimmy Uso interfering, costing his brother another championship. Post-match, Jimmy beat down Jey with multiple super kicks and the Uso splashes. Really good stuff. Krssi Love, any notes, any comments on this week's Monday Night Raw?
No, Jimmy ringing the bell, and I thought like the match was like a draw. So I'm like, okay, well the match, but I'm like, they don't have time. They don't have.
Yeah, they don't have time limits. I don't know.
So
why
I'm like, what's happening? Like, I was like, did Samantha do something? Like, did Samantha wanted them to do something wrong? But then it was Jimmy. I was like, good stuff, guys. So thinking this is how we build to them two having their match. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, when are we gonna do this? Or like, are we not gonna do this? Like, I don't know, but like. What are we doing with the twins? We have to figure that out. Like they're part of the semi-bloodline-ish story. So how do we tie this all into it? So that was really good. But yes, good, solid episode for Raw.
I thought it was a really good episode of Monday Night Raw. I would say Raw was better than Elimination Chamber. That's how much I enjoyed Raw this week.
I can say I was when we were doing our show last week, we were like, okay, when we're gonna get who's gonna be the fifth girl? No, the sixth girl, excuse me. Or fifth girl. And we were like, maybe it would be Jade, but then we had a battle royale and she was not even in it. So we're like, okay, what are we saving Jade for? Great. And I was like, oh, Raquel? Okay, sure. She wasn't even in the Royal Rumble, but yeah, good stuff. Sure.
What do you
I think
think?
on hindsight, I think it was a good move. On hindsight, I think it was a better move.
Yeah.
Because the first appearance, it was the Royal Rumble. She lost the match, and in the Chamber, she probably would have lost anyway.
Not probably. She was gonna lose.
Yeah, I'm saying but I'm just saying then you're gonna have her lose her first two matches in WWE while you presented her as this big free agent signing.
That they're doing nothing with.
She's in a weird spot. It's a weird spot because they're presenting her like a big signing, right? They presented her like a star. She was in the commercials in the Super Bowl weekend, but
she does all their appearances. She does all their
but now it's like get to a point. For me,
does.
like what I was looking at it yesterday because I was talking to Wendy about it during the women's chamber when we were watching it. I'm just like, what are they gonna do? Like, what are
they doing with her?
Like, what? Not only what they're doing with her, but the whole thing was like, oh yeah, they want her to be ready, right? They want her to be ring ready. But my thing is, if she's gonna be doing the same quality of work that she did in AEW with her ring work, what does that mean about Jade herself? And that to me, that's gonna be the main problem, because it's like you want her to be ready, but then if we're gonna get the same performance, then to me that's gonna tell me that she's not gonna get better. And now we're just waiting.
And we've seen this before, i.e., Gable Stevenson. Gabe Stevenson, he's been training with WWE for like 2 years now, and there's been no change. At least with Jade, we know she has the it factor. She has a
charisma.
She has charisma. Gable Stevenson does not have those things. So at least Jade has 1 foot up.
He's a charisma vacuum. That's what he is. Like, he doesn't have what his brother has. His brother has the charisma.
Who's his brother?
Like, his brother has the charisma. He doesn't have that at
Damon
all.
Kemp. He's a part of that group with Drew Gulak on that.
That's his. No wonder they.
Yeah, that's his brother. Yeah, that's his brother.
The little fake rappers, group thing, people over there. Okay, yeah, them over there. Okay.
Thanks for joining us from the other side. We appreciate you, Kobe Bean. We got Frantic World who says Gable Stevenson is still with WWE. Krssi.
Thank you. Someone answered my question.
You gotta inform them. You gotta inform people. Like, yeah, she's still here. They still there. Yeah.
I ain't seen them in a couple of Sundays, so
WrestleMania 40 is coming up in just 6 weeks, and apparently WWE is looking to bring in a major celebrity for the festivities. WrestleVotes reports that WWE is interested in bringing in Sylvester Stallone for WrestleMania 40 in some way. Stallone played the famous Rocky Balboa character in a series of films with deep ties to Philadelphia, the host city for this year's event. It's unknown if he has agreed. WWE is said to be hopeful. The Wrestling Observer newsletter notes that there may be a scheduling conflict which could prevent it. Stallone previously appeared for WWE when he inducted Hulk Hogan into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005. Would you be down with Rocky Balboa being the host of WrestleMania 40, JJ?
Sure.
Get Meek Mills to do his song, and then we'll set it off.
Now, the Weeknd's already got the song. They got the song for like the WrestleMania song rights for years.
Right, like did he have a contract with them?
I'll be down with it if he does like the Rocky Balboa like monologue, like how he's talking to people and the way he just like the way he talks to people. If you have him do it like that, like that'd be great. Like
I want to see like Cody. I want to see like Cody training at the Nightmare Factory, and like he's like with QT Marshall and just Dustin Rhodes. He's like jumping ropes, and he was like, "Yeah, we brought in a special trainer for you," and then you just see the feet walking into the.
If he comes out and he does appearances on that show and he's talking to people like he was talking to his son, and he was trying to draw inspiration out of his son, and he tried to draw it out of them superstars, that shit would be incredible.
Yes. Yeah.
I gotta see
How
that.
winning is done.
And he's talking to all the underdogs on the way to WrestleMania. He's talking to Cody at the Nightmare Factory. He's talking to Becky in Ireland. He's talking to Sammy in an empty arena. Like it's just all the underdogs.
Oh, like all the vignettes, all the the
Yep.
little things leading up to it, like they did with Hollywood.
Like the
Okay, got it.
WrestleMania goes Hollywood. Instead, it's Rocky talks to the underdogs.
And have him
thing.
dressed as like the
Or they do like that.
character.
He is the,
Or they
he
do
is
like
the
that
knit
Paulie
hat.
segment.
He is the knit
Or they
hat.
do like that. Or they do like that Paulie segment in Rock and I think was it Rocky Balboa, where he tells him about the basement, like how like he knew he's gonna do well because of the basement. That's what he got to do.
Yep. And then if you want to really like you got to do it. We got to get some new stuff in there. You can have one with Michael B. Jordan with like a black superstar.
Right, you have to get yeah, absolutely.
With a black underdog. There you
And
go.
if anybody is unfamiliar with how Rocky talks to his son, all you got to do is read our comment section, because the entire monologue is in our comment section right now.
Thanks for change. It's not how hard you get hit. It's all about how hard you can get hit and get back up. How you can keep moving forward after you
And
get
that's how
hit.
winning is done.
And that's how winning is done.
Sorry, man. People gotta watch part 6. That's low key like a banger too.
There is no tomorrow. Yeah, Rocky Balboa and the Creed series are great stuff. Are great.
Great,
films.
like
They're great films.
I love
They're
all the
great
Creed.
films. Like literally, the Rocky is the only series of movies that has one bad film. Only
One.
Rocky 5 is bad.
Yeah,
That's it. Everything
And
else
it's
is
only
really
bad,
good movies.
in my opinion, it's only bad because we had such a great number 4 movie.
Yes.
That because
That
they
could've
went
ended it.
down so much. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically what it is. Because part 5, I don't think part 5 is as bad. It's just because
That's
you
the
went
son,
from
right?
part 4.
I feel like part 5 is bad because of the villain. The villain is the boxer that he trains is fucking awful.
Yeah.
He's not a good actor. He's not
yes.
a good
Oh
actor.
yes,
at all.
and then
It's
Yeah.
awful.
Oh yeah. Like they would have had somebody else, yeah. But I'm talking like the story itself.
The
like,
black guy that's supposed to be Don King, he should have been the villain. That was the best part of that film.
Oh,
He's the best part.
touch me and I'll sue. Touch me and I'll sue.
I love that guy. That guy should have been the villain. I will stand on
but
that.
you notice once they show all the Rockies, that's one of them that they don't show. They show everything else but that one, and then they show Creed. Just telling you.
Yep,
It's
I mean,
true.
understandable. Understandable. Understandable.
And the last Creed was awesome. So like
Yes, yo, with
Jonathan Majors?
Jonathan Majors was really good, yo. Jonathan Majors might be like
The
up there
best-
with like Clubber Lang and Ivan Drago for the best Rocky villain.
villain. Yep. Facts.
Best Rocky villain. Ivan Drago is the best though because of
He is.
Creed 2. Creed 2 made Ivan Drago even better when they brought him back. When they brought back Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
But yes, enough of us talking about Creed and Rocky. But WWE, we do have something of an update on the whole Vince McMahon saga, but more concerning, one of the names brought up in the lawsuit, Brock Lesnar.
Damn, so I got-
WWE and 2K Games announced the full roster for WWE 2K24 this week, which did not include Brock Lesnar. It also didn't include talents like Drew McIntyre, although that has since been corrected. Insider Gaming reported that it was too late to remove Lesnar from the game entirely, but he will not be playable when the game is released. His character and game files are still in the game, however. This means that the backers could potentially use him, or someone could make create a wrestler if his moveset and attire are still in the game. The reason he has not been removed outright is because the latest allegations against McMahon, which implicated Lesnar, were revealed late into the game's development. Although it should be noted that the lawsuit against McMahon never mentioned Lesnar by name, it's possible that Lesnar is in the game as a minor inclusion in different modes. 2K has yet to comment beyond not having his name on the roster on Wednesday.
That says a lot.
It
That
does.
says a lot.
Means that we might not see Vince McMahon in this 40 years of WrestleMania celebration, or Brock Lesnar, meaning that you can't do the streak getting ended, which is kind of a big matchup in WrestleMania history.
Yeah, because
Think?
I did hear that the only ones from McMahon's is Shane and Steph that are in it apparently. Vince is not in it too. That I heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah. I didn't hear. I heard that Vince was not in the game. So
yeah,
here we are. That's the whole new world we're living in, folks.
40 years of WrestleMania, and you might get 20 of them.
There's only like 21 matches in the 40 years of WrestleMania, which makes no sense to me because
You said how many?
There's only like 20 matches.
20,
like 25 matches.
Out of 40 years?
Out of 40 years. And like 3 of them are from last year's WrestleMania.
One of them is mid. One of them nobody talks about. Nobody talks about the match. Yeah.
Wait,
Listen, it's the world we live in now, friend.
that don't even sound correct. And we have it, 2 nights now?
Yep.
20 matches?
So, actually, if you put it together, we probably have had about 45 WrestleManias already.
Yeah, because we're getting 2 each year since 2020. And then final note before we finish up with WWE with NXT this week. Michael Chandler appeared on Raw this week. He had called out Conor McGregor to the Octagon in an appearance on Monday's Raw. When the camera was on him, he grabbed the mic and told McGregor to get his ass back to the Octagon. McGregor and Chandler coached separate teams last year for Ultimate Fighter 31. Fightful reports that Dana White said over the weekend that McGregor will most likely return in the last part of 2024. You enjoyed this, Top Guy JJ, seeing some UFC WWE crossover?
This just felt so random. It was so random. It just looked like he was in the front row saying, "Give me a microphone, mate." And it was just so out of place. I was like, this is the type of random shit that we used to get back in the day. That just like this shit had no place on the show at all, and it just happened.
It just happened, and then they never really talked about it afterwards. They didn't replay it.
Bro, that same night that we were talking about it in the chat, that's all I was saying. I was like, me personally, it was fine because I watch UFC, but I was like, I wouldn't have done it there. And then Romeo was defending it, but I'm just like, bro, the demo is different. It's different, and that's all I was saying. I wasn't saying like, oh, it was terrible, it was bad. I'm just saying, if you're gonna do something like that, do it in front of a crowd that's gonna either know, but I wouldn't do it in front of a WWE crowd regardless, just because that's not the demo you're targeting for UFC. So
unless they're trying to establish that, we'll see. We'll see if there's an appearance at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think they tried to. I think they alluded to that, but I know Dana White has been like pretty adamant about like, man, this shit's not gonna fucking work. Like, what are you doing? Like
that shit made ESPN, bro.
No, it did. I mean, that's a given.
That hit its target.
I'm saying, but like, I mean, that's a given. So I'm not. That's not what. But what I was talking about more so is like the crowd, like if you could do it in front of that, like it's that's why it felt out of place. That's why it felt out of place. But of course, you're gonna get like your ESPNs, your sports stuff. Like they're gonna talk about it, like, which is fine. But it's just more of like what they're trying to do. Dana White himself has been like, I'm not gonna say against it, but he's smart enough to know like what's gonna work, what's not gonna work.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Senior Nerd. This is not right. He says, let's be honest, there are like a handful of great WrestleMania moments out of the 40 years. Like no one wants to relive the ending of WrestleMania 9. That is memorable. We're not talking about we're not talking about great WrestleMania moments.
You know what you were doing when you were a kid that day? Yeah.
WrestleMania moments don't have to be great. They have to be memorable. The ending of WrestleMania 9 is a very memorable ending, for better or worse. Memorable. We're not looking for great moments. We're looking for memorable moments.
And the fact
memorable moments, the double turn, Austin and Bret Hart, that's a memorable moment.
I can literally tell you a memorable moment from every WrestleMania.
From just about, and that is the target right there. Is that it created a specific spot and specific memory in your head that you pointed out. WrestleMania 9. This happened then.
That was like 93?
Yep.
Point exact target. Signed, sealed, delivered right there.
My
And
9-year-old
ironically-
self was
That was
pissed
what they were
at.
trying to drive
And ironic, he chose out WrestleMania 9 because we almost had that for WrestleMania 40, if you really think about it.
It was that. It was Hogan. It was Hogan stepping in for Brett. It was that SmackDown segment.
Oh man, I love sometimes when they want to be honest and then it comes right back to bite them because see, memories. That's literally nobody's ranking the top 10. It's a memory. It's a memory.
If you want to specify great, they never said great WrestleMania moments. They said WrestleMania moments, and there's a lot of them.
And you can name all 40 moments.
Huh?
SP, you can name a moment from each one.
I could probably name you something important or memorable from every WrestleMania. WrestleMania 1, the tag team main event with Mr. T. WrestleMania 2, Mr. T and Roddy Piper. WrestleMania 3, Hogan slams Andre. WrestleMania 4, the WWE title match. The WWF title tournament, the one night tournament. WrestleMania 5, Mega Powers exploding.
Yes.
WrestleMania 6, Hogan and
Warrior.
7. They had to move the whole shit from one arena because they couldn't sell it out to go to a smaller arena. That's the most memorable thing from that WrestleMania. I'm sorry, it's none of the matches. It's the fact that they had to.
Get out of your fucking mind.
Nah, 7.
Out of your fucking
mind.
Macho King
Macho Man and
retiring.
Elizabeth. Macho Man and Elizabeth.
Macho King and man.
It's not the retirement. It's Macho Man and Elizabeth.
It was his first step away from the ring.
I know. I was being funny. I was being funny.
He's trying.
To me, that's the most memorable thing. But the moment,
it's
Macho
and fire at 7 too. That white and purple.
Those people were crying in the crowd. Great moment. WrestleMania 8, Macho and Flair. You had the Brett and Roddy. You had Ultimate Warrior returning. WrestleMania 9
off the juice for like 2 months, and you see him losing 45
and people legitimately thought it wasn't him. WrestleMania 9, you already said the ending. WrestleMania 10, Brett bookmarking the first ever ladder match. WrestleMania 11, LT. WrestleMania 12, the Iron Man match. WrestleMania 13, the double turn. WrestleMania 14, Austin era begins.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's stubborn.
15 Roxy Hogan.
He's gonna do it.
Y'all called me.
You see, 15. He just jumped ahead like 5 WrestleManias, bro. Hogan was fucking.
No, I was gonna say first Rock and Austin. First Rock and Austin. I was gonna correct myself. But y'all stopped me. I'm not gonna go through all the manias. All right.
Once you pass,
15 is good. But 15 of them is good.
Once you there is a specific moment in each WrestleMania that they could have pulled something from that pretty much anybody would have remembered.
Send me a super chat. I'll do it, but you gotta send me a super chat after I do it, Senior Nerd, or at least 2 or 3 of y'all gotta send a super chat after I do it because I will do it. It's in my head now. I want to.
He wants to get it out.
My head wants to complete it. 15, the first ever Rock and Austin main event. 16, the first ever Fatal 4-Way main event, and the first ever Dudley's, Edge and Christian and Hardy's ladder match.
And a McMahon in every corner.
17, the greatest WrestleMania of all time. I will be standing here for months talking about all the memorable moments from that one show. WrestleMania 18, Hogan and Rock. WrestleMania 19, Hogan and Vince McMahon. Rock and Austin's retirement match. Brock Lesnar almost breaking his neck on a shooting star press. There's so many memorable moments from that one. WrestleMania 20, where it all
worst
begins
WrestleMania
again.
match of all time.
Dead man coming back. Goldberg and Brock being memorable. The Eddie and Chris Benoit Edding. WrestleMania 21, the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. The Batista and Cena era beginning. WrestleMania 22. You might get me there. There's not that many memorable things from there.
On 22?
But there's memorable matches like Edge and Mick Foley, like Mickey James and Trish Stratus, but I can't say that there's a moment from that show. It's just an overall really good show, but there's not like that one moment.
Because 22 didn't have like a standout like Undertaker moment. It didn't have like this major triumph.
For me as a child, because no, I wasn't a child. I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
The WrestleMania moment that stays with me from that event is Mickie James licking her fingers. Yes, that's the moment. That's the moment for me. I'm sorry. I was 18. I was 18, guys. Mickie James.
See, y'all better send him a super chat after this shit because he just gave you childhood confessions on air. He just gave you childhood.
23, the Battle of the Billionaires. 24, Ric Flair's retirement. 25, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. 26, Shawn Michaels' retirement. 27, man, that was a bad WrestleMania.
27?
I need
27
a moment.
Was terrible.
I need a moment to reflect on how bad that was, but it's The Rock's return. It's The Rock's return and the start of 1 year, and then 28 is once in a lifetime.
Or you can also say when Miz banged his head on the concrete.
But that Undertaker Triple H match in
it was
27
great.
is so underrated.
Oh, the Undertaker kick out on the tombstone is my moment from that show.
The Undertaker trip. I actually enjoyed 27's Undertaker Triple H match more than the other.
Now I gotta go find it.
I don't. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Because I remember the WrestleMania 27 matchup for the Undertaker kick out of the tombstone. And then the sequel was better than the original when they had Michael's super kick Undertaker into the pedigree. That's one of the greatest kickouts of all time.
I was not happy about that.
The greatest kickouts of all
time.
That
should have ended the streak. That shit should have ended the streak.
But WrestleMania 28, once in a lifetime, is the moment. WrestleMania 29, The Undertaker's final win of his streak. There's Brock Lesnar's return to WrestleMania for WrestleMania 29. My first WrestleMania. That's how I remember it. WrestleMania 30, Bryan, the end of the streak. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying same here. As you were saying, my first WrestleMania with you.
Nice.
Oh yeah, y'all was all together, and that's what y'all sang the song about Roman Reigns.
No. That's 34. That's 34.
Oh, we didn't link for WrestleMania yet.
Yeah, we didn't link.
Okay, my bad.
We didn't link there.
Too soon. My bad. Go ahead. Finish this.
Too soon. 30, the Bryan Yesomania and the streak ending. 31, the heist of the century. 32, the most attended WrestleMania of all time. The Shane McMahon jumping off the top of the cell. 33.
That was a crappy WrestleMania too. 32
it was really bad. It's really bad. 33, the return of the Hardys. Oh my God, I had an outer body experience. I had an outer body experience at that WrestleMania.
And then Taker's fake retirement.
I tell you, 33. I don't care what anybody says. Was probably the most hyped and most involvement in a show I've ever had in my life. I still own it till this day of being right to the entire Tru Heel Heat crew because they all looked at me like I had 6 heads when I thought the Hardys were returning. And when no motherfuckers returned and that place lit up, I wanted an apology from every motherfucker.
I gave you an apology.
And I got it. But that was the first thing I was asking for. I was like, you motherfuckers all better apologize. And
I actually found out about the Hardys that day because apparently at the tailgate, everyone was like informing us that at the tailgate that the WWE vehicles showed up, like the licensed vehicles for WWE showed up at the tailgate.
Dude, what made my prediction what made it even worse, right, is because we went to the Hardy's barbecue. That shit was at like 2 p.m.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got a funny quick story before I complete this. Funny quick story. At that Hardy's barbecue, we met a guy that wanted to buy Tru Heels from us. There would never be a show. There would never be a channel if we had listened to that guy. Really? Remember that guy? You remember that guy, JJ? You don't remember that guy that tried to
the motherfucker with the WrestleMania jersey.
Yes!
Yeah, the motherfucker with the WrestleMania jersey, and he wanted to take information and take it basically buy the shit from us. The shit he would have probably gave us like $50. And this show would have never existed, and Tru Heels would probably just be a logo, literally probably with some girls with heels on them. It would have probably been a name of a cabaret or a strip club probably by now. It would not have probably been wrestling related. So, thank just for sticking to instincts and just not accepting $50.
Indeed. So what was I up to? 34. Ronda Rousey's debut. That was the best. That's the most memorable moment from there. 35, the first ever.
That was probably the
women's
best
main
match
event.
of the night.
No,
That was probably the best match.
The first ever women's main event and Kofi Mania, WrestleMania 36, the first ever pandemic WrestleMania, the Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse matchup. 37, the first ever women's main event matchup. I mean, what for African American women's main event matchup? Two African American women in the main event.
Was it that's when it came 2 nights too, right?
Yeah. Well, no, 2 nights was 2020 was 36.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
sorry.
That's the year before. That's the pandemic one. 38. That's the biggest match in WrestleMania history of Roman and Brock, and it's Cody Rhodes returning from WrestleMania.
Bro,
and it's Stone Cold's first WrestleMania matchup in almost 20 years.
Oh,
and
and that was in Texas. Yep.
Bro, the biggest WrestleMania match of all time was 12 minutes.
And then WrestleMania 39 last year, there's a few, but I would say Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn finishing their story against the Bloodline because Cody didn't finish his.
Yeah.
You're welcome, guys. Where's the super chats? Christopher Kidd with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Christopher Kidd. He
Give
says
my man a super chat, guys.
He says 27 was ass, 28 was the last great WrestleMania. Fight me. You're bugging. 30 was great, and 31 was great.
Great.
Both of those.
Yeah, 28. I mean, 28 was good. I remember 28. My memorable moment for 28 was Daniel Bryan losing in 18 seconds because I just couldn't fucking believe it. That opened WrestleMania and he lost in 18 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I remember the most.
The reason I remember this is because my brother went to the store, right? The match was about to start. They did the entrances, right? He went to the store, which is like right there near his building. He comes back up. I was like, yo, the match is over. He was like, what? No. What happened? And he didn't believe me at first. I was like, yo, it went 18 seconds. And he thought I was trolling him. And I'm like, no, it went 18 seconds. And then when they replayed it, he was like, he couldn't believe it.
You broke his life. You messed up his life with that 18 seconds, WWE. Final note from WWE this week. NXT, the show featured Shotzi, unfortunately, getting herself injured in her NXT Women's Championship matchup against Lyra Valkyria. This led to Lyra beating Lash Legend in a special open challenge to retain her title in the main event. Meanwhile, Carmelo Hayes made the challenge to NXT champion Ilya Dragunov for a roadblock in 2 weeks. Chase U defeated Axiom and Nathan Frazier to become #1 contenders for the Wolf Dogs NXT Tag Team Championships. However, the SmackDown's own The OC jumped both teams after the matchup. Josh Briggs beat his former tag team partner Brooks Jensen in a hard-hitting contest, while Obafemi beat Lexis King to retain the NXT North American Championship in the opener. So good week from WWE this week, but we got to go over to the Converse. Before we do that, I know Top Guy JJ, you got to run. It's almost time for you to make your trip back to New York City. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when you'll be back with us here.
Good to be on the show, guys, and good to kick it with y'all for a minute. I ain't know it's gonna go through like 40 WrestleMania memories and all of that other good shit. But it's always good to get back with the gang. I think if I'm right, March 16th, that will probably be my next like locked in potential appearance here. Okay. And it will be for the full show. I hope this counts. I gave you almost 2 hours.
You did.
Yeah, this is great.
So on Instagram, you can find me at Tru Heel _Top Guy JJ. That is pretty much my main interaction on social media. Facebook, if you're linked to me, you can find me there. I haven't really been streaming as much lately because I've been trying to do a lot more family shit and a lot more things that involves interacting with people.
Wow!
So
what a thought!
So it's what a concept, right? Interact with people, like
besides the people he works with,
yeah. So you do that stuff. You don't really have time to game. You don't have time. Like, you might want to try it. It's this thing that we used to do when we were, in pre-StreamYard and pre-Zoom time, that we would actually get together and hang out and have drinks and celebrate life,
We have to set that up.
Everything isn't through FaceTime, guys. Just just saying. But yeah, can't wait to get back on here. Should be really, really heating up for WrestleMania season, because literally WrestleMania will be about 3 weeks away by the time that show comes on. So that'd be really fun. But yeah, always good to kick it with the OG duo, and it always good to be on here with Josh. Always keeps it a buck, and that's the best part about the Tru Heel gang, is that no matter what subjects are, you see how none of it is scripted. Everybody keeps it 100%, no matter what, no matter what opinions are, and no matter what we feel, we gonna say it. And if you motherfuckers try to cancel us, eat a dick. So just letting y'all know that shit right now. Clip that shit if you want. Speaking of clips, we gotta do some talking about some clips, y'all, because we gotta talk. We gotta talk, Tru Heels, because we got some things to do.
Okay.
Some things. All right, sir. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you,
travels.
brother.
Travel
Safe
back
travels.
Peace. Thank you. All right.
All right, now we're gonna go over to the Converse. AEW Dynamite this week. The show featured FTR and the Blackpool Combat Club going to a 20-minute time limit draw in a great opening matchup. Post-match, both teams got into a pull-apart brawl that led to FTR challenging BCC to a match at AEW Revolution. Samoa Joe, Brian Cage, and Swerve Strickland picked up a huge victory in the main event trios matchup, defeating RVD, Hook, and Hangman Adam Page in a very good trios main event. Timeless Tony Storm got a warm-up match, beating Cindy Windmill with Deonna Purrazzo's Venus de Milo finisher, while Deonna Purrazzo defeated Madison Rayne.
This right here. this shot right here.
It was beautiful.
Production.
Beautiful production.
Chef's kiss.
Deonna Purrazzo picked up the win with Tony Storm's break-a-leg finisher against Madison Rayne to continue their rivalry on the road to Revolution. Jake Hager returned after Orange Cassidy beat Mike Bennett in a decent little matchup after Undisputed Era tried to attack him. Meanwhile, speaking of Undisputed Era, Wardlow turned up and had his best promo of his career, calling out his past wins and domination over CM Punk, MJF, and Samoa Joe. Tony Schiavone
Look
announced,
where it got him. Nothing.
Hey, he said the rocket was strapped to his back upside down. That's AEW's fault. Tony Schiavone announced that Daniel Garcia will challenge Christian Cage for the AEW TNT title. Garcia cut a passionate promo that was interrupted by Christian Cage and the patriarchy, with Cage targeting Garcia's family and his dead father, but Garcia getting the last laugh, applying the Dragon Tamer to Nick Wayne and standing tall. Ric Flair returned and expressed his disappointment not being more involved in the Sting retirement, and then he approached the Young Bucks, of all people, about his other options, while Sting cut arguably the most emotional and compelling and captivating promos of his entire 36-year career, talking about the Bucks attacking his sons, his father passing away last week, and what Revolution means to him, why he's going to bring the fight to the Young Bucks and Matthew and Nicholas Jackson at Revolution next Sunday. Really great stuff from Sting in this promo, and a really strong show of Dynamite on the way to AEW Revolution this week. Krssi Love, any thoughts on the show?
I only saw the highlights. I didn't get to watch it live, and I think SP's face is frozen.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, there you go. I'm like, hold on, we're still looking at the same screen. Anywho, but I'm loving the road to Revolution. They're setting the little stuff. Like, usually we don't really know what's going to happen until maybe like a week before the show. But now they're starting to like put in like little nuggets. I mean, well, the show is next weekend, ain't it?
Yeah, next Sunday.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Never
I gotta
mind.
fly out. I gotta fly out Friday for it.
Yep,
So.
I'm flying out on Friday too.
All right, I retake back my statement because we don't really know what's going to happen until a week before the show. We do now know some of the things. We still don't even know the whole
We
thing.
know the whole card. We know
the whole card so far.
The whole card. The whole card's been made.
Well, shoot me in the foot then. I'm sorry. Whatever.
I mean, what you're saying is not wrong. You're not wrong for what you said.
Thank you, friend. Appreciate you. But overall, the FTR feud with the Blackpool Combat Club is just a chef's kiss. I didn't know I needed it on my 2024, but it's great and I'm loving it. They don't need to fight for anything. They're just fighting with each other, and it's great. like who's the? Let's just fight.
It really feels like they don't know why they're fighting. It feels like especially after Collision. We'll talk about Collision in a bit here.
Mm-hmm.
After Collision with their two separate promos, where they told us two different reasons for why they're fighting. BCC is fighting because they feel FTR is stuck in the past, while FTR is fighting BCC because they feel like they've been on a perch for 5 years and they're gonna knock them off. Which I prefer the FTR reasoning over the BCC reason.
Why do we have Ric Flair giving comments on like why he's not more involved in the Sting stuff? Is just don't.
I mean, I thought it was really well done. I thought it was really well done.
I thought it was well done. I thought it was well done because people, regardless of the shit that Ric Flair is getting, people have complained about that because they're like, oh, he said he was gonna be around and he hasn't been around. So it's kind of cool that they
around though.
No, you don't. But because he was the one that initiated that he was going to be around, and they did tease it. They did mention that he was going to be around for like Sting's retirement, and we haven't got much of that. So for him to touch on that, I think that needed to be done when it came to Rick coming back.
Okay, all right, I'll take that one. I can't wait to see what Tony and Deanna is going to do. I feel like they're going to like bang it out, like. And now we're gonna do like half black and white, half like how are we gonna do this match with her? Like,
and on top of that, we had 2 women's matches on Dynamite.
No, he's been listen. I don't know who.
They had 2 matches, and it was at 9:00.
I know.
It was at 9:00.
But he's been showcasing the women on each show. And maybe like even Rampage you might get 2 because it's an hour show, or Collision is you might get It's happening more frequent, and they're good matches at that. They're not like
Collision had 2.
Collision's had 2 women's matches for like the past month.
That's what I'm saying. See,
even yesterday we had Thunder Rosa and we had Serena. Which Serena's promo was really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're doing very well for the women, Tony Khan. Keep up the good work. We just said, it took Thunder Rosa to come back for you to do this. Sure, no problem.
We're doing it for a minute.
Yeah, he's been putting the focus. I would say since after All Out last year. I've been saying that for now the past 6 months. So I've been keeping it consistent.
And it's every week. And again, they're not all squash matches. They're actually been really good matches.
Yeah. But yes, we got more news to discuss from AEW and more about the women's division because everybody's been talking about the big name that they are seemingly going to be bringing in a few weeks here. And apparently we got a big name coming in right before that big name. On Wednesday, PW Insider reported that AEW hired former WWE creative team member Jennifer Pepperman to work as the new VP of Content Development. In a post on Twitter, AEW CEO Tony Khan commented on the latest hiring. He said, "Welcome to AEW, to our All Elite Vice President of Content at Jen Pepperman. We're excited to have her in AEW. It's a very exciting first day for her here tonight, live on TBS network. There are some more details on Emmy award-winning writer Jennifer Pepperman joining All Elite Wrestling. PW Insider reports that Pepperman was backstage at Wednesday night's AEW Dynamite in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Also, the Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer reports those in WWE believe she was leaving the company to go to AEW because she is extremely close with Mercedes Mone. A source in WWE said that the belief is that she would be Mone's exclusive writer. However, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Pepperman will be heavily involved in all women's storylines, as well as working on men's storylines as well. Tony Khan remains the booker of AEW with a creative team that now includes Pepperman, Bryan Danielson, Sanjay Dutt, Jerry Lynn, Jimmy Jacobs, and Will Washington, as well as a few others. And it was noted that AEW has not changed how they handle promos with this new hiring. Promos will not be written, as they are handled by giving talent bullet points and letting them use their own words. As previously reported, Mercedes Mone, formerly known as Sasha Banks, is believed to have signed with AEW in January, and she is expected to make her debut with the company next month at AEW Big Business. The show is scheduled on March 13th at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, and will air live on TBS. What do you think about this hiring, getting a woman involved on the creative team and a woman that's very close to Mercedes Moné? I've been saying it all week. It's like AEW hired Mercedes' own Brian Gerwertz. If you don't know who Brian Gerwertz is, that's the personal writer for The Rock.
That's how I was laughing.
What do you think, Krssi?
He's like, listen, I'm not letting this slip through my fingers. We're going to give me everything I want. As in Batista said a long time ago. And he's giving her everything she wants. And she knows her value, and that she wanted to go somewhere where someone was going to give that to her. And she knew she can get that. And she knew some other people they were going to give her like half-ass shit. Like, you know, they weren't going to give her what she deserves. And she's like, no, I need to go and keep doing what I do so I can show you guys and prove that I am a top tier person. So I am not surprised in this at all. Hopefully it'll make things even more better for it to come. I'm excited, and I'll be at that show. So,
but I will say,
but
AEW did poach her. They poached her.
Yeah.
Because if poaching is a bad thing, you can't look at this whole situation and say it's not poaching. Like, it definitely is poaching, because
poaching for a win.
She left WWE for a job in AEW. That is poaching.
Okay. Was it time for her to leave? Did she give her 2 weeks, or was she under contract? Like,
no, it sounds like she left because she knew she had a job in AEW.
Then that's fine. Listen, take your stuff to South Beach, friend. It's okay. Poach me. I'm going to give you all the money.
It is a poach. Any thoughts? Any comments on this move? On this move,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was more surprised it happened this soon. I didn't expect it to happen at least for a little while. I didn't know it was gonna be a fucking week that it was gonna happen. But that's why it does look like what you said about the poaching thing. That's why it looks suspect, but at the same time, we're used to wrestling business where somebody leaves one company and then they sign and then another place like a day or two later. This instance, it was a week later.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's a lot of people who are praising it. Eric Bischoff said it was a good move too, and you know he hates AEW.
He hates them.
Yeah, and then he said it was a good move. So, it helps creative. I mean that's a great move. But also if she's gonna help around everything, that just not the Mercedes thing, could be great things coming for the talents. The only thing I would say, in general, is I know they're saying about like they're keeping talents with bullet points. I think the people who need to cut better promos need a script. That's just my opinion. Once they get comfortable, then they could follow the bullet point route.
Again, like they have like on the teleprompt, right. Like so when they're facing the camera, have it there just for them, and then they can know.
No, that'd be worse because then
they don't do it like that. Only The Rock chooses to write it on his wrist. You don't do it like that. They give you the script, you memorize it, and then it's like you're doing a play. When you go out there, you just
that'd be the best way. Yeah, because I think that's the best approach. So then once they get comfortable, then that's how they could do it. Because I've seen that with Roman Reigns. Where he, they gave him scripts, he wasn't good at it. But then once he started doing stuff on his own, that's where he got better at. And I think that's the approach that a lot of talent in AEW, they need that. I think so. I think if there was a final way to implement that, I'll be on board for it. But I mean, obviously, like the Mox, you know, the Moxes of the world, Danielsons, they don't need that stuff.
No.
So that's okay. But people who really need it, I think that she could probably help too. I think that would be a great way to like, hey,
So
this is what I wrote for you.
your
See how it
lines,
looks.
basically.
So see how it looks, so you feel comfortable and stuff like that. I think that's the best approach. But overall, I think it's a great move.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great move. She's got a lot of experience being an Emmy award-winning writer, experience in WWE, and experience with Mercedes. So I expect some of the storylines to have a lot more depth than they have in the past. And we've seen this with the Timeless Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo rivalry. This is like the most effort they put into a women's rivalry in quite some time.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Safet saying, don't forget that Cash Wheeler might have to deal with legal stuff in May. I didn't forget it, but I definitely didn't put it in my agenda because there's no news until May. You literally said that we're not going to find out anything about his legal issues stemming back from him having possession of the gun while getting pulled over. We're not going to know anything until May. That would just me saying we'll have news about Cash Wheeler in May.
Yeah, and then also I don't think to be honest with you, I don't think nothing major is gonna happen. He's probably
that's another reason why I didn't think it was worth
I think he's gonna get slapped on the wrist, so I wouldn't put too much stock into that. It could be a thing, but I wouldn't put too much stock into that, at least right now.
Like he got
not worried about
for the crappy like semi
DUI.
Oh, okay.
No, road rage. He legit took a weapon out on somebody on the road.
He put the GAC out. The FPR means fear the revolver.
Before All In.
Yes,
that's what made it worse.
Yes, you're right.
Power Driver Finisher says, I've been saying give women more promo time. It's not that simple though, Power Driver Finisher, because a lot of these women are not comfortable or good at doing live promos in the ring. Like Serena Deeb, I will say that you could tell she's been working on it because when she did an in-ring promo with Thunder Rosa ahead of Double or Nothing 2022, that shit almost nuked Thunder Rosa's entire title run. Like they never put more effort into Thunder Rosa's title run because their in-ring promo was that bad. And she's gotten better with the promos because she took time off and she worked on it outside of the ring, not just giving them more promo time and then it's not good. But what you've seen as of late, especially in the rivalry with Timeless Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo, they have two women who are comfortable and good at doing live promos in the ring, and they have been given them that. And overall, since after All Out last year, they've been giving women more stories and more promo time. So I don't think that's like something that they have to like still work on. If they keep it consistent, they keep going on the path they are on. It's not something that we even need to mention anymore. We got Frantic Rails says Max Caster definitely needs a script. Yeah. We'll get to that. According to a report by Matman's Andrew Zarian, AEW is planning to hold this year's Forbidden Door 3 at Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York. The event is reportedly expected to happen in June 2024. Once again, Forbidden Door began as a co-promotional joint pay-per-view event for AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling starting in 2022. The first event was held at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. The second Forbidden Door event was held last year at Scotia Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada in June 2023. And this event, if it does go down at Arthur Ashe Stadium, would mark the first AEW pay-per-view event to be held in New York City. Other than that, it's been held in Long Island for World's End. AEW has yet to announce its plans for this year's Forbidden Door. And of course, Arthur Ashe Stadium is usually the home of Grand Slam. What do y'all think of potentially Forbidden Door in Queens, New York?
Oh, so it's not even like set in stone. It's like it's like in talks. Like
Andrew Zarian it's like Sean Ross said. Andrew Zarian says a report about AEW. It's like
it's happening.
Yeah, it's like AEW already announced it, basically. Because I know we've had Andrew on the show, and he's a New Yorker. He ain't gonna say shit unless he really, really is confident about it.
Right. Okay, that's big and that's exciting. It's not a big place, but it's a good place to have a show. And
It's
all
like
the
over 20,000 people. That
Yeah,
for sure.
that'd be the most. That'll be the most for a Forbidden Door.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be a big spot for them to do it. And that's a great look at. And everyone will fly in. Everyone will come. It'll be packed out. It'll be awesome. If I could see Will Ospreay there, that would be my life dream. And I don't need to see anyone else.
Do you see how quiet she got when how her voice like went a little bit simmer and then she started smiling so much?
Willie, yo, you should have seen Krssi. I know you watch AE Ramble sometimes. You should have seen Jimmy's reaction to Will Ospreay's AEW render. That man almost came in his pants. He was like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "This is the greatest render ever," because he has a lion on his jacket, and they did the zoom in on the lion. Oh my god, so great. During Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite, a lot of people were scared about the condition of Hangman Adam Page. It appeared he landed awkwardly on his leg during the main event. He was spotted clutching his ankle and waved the camera away when they tried to film him at the end of the show. While this raised some concern that he might be injured, it seems that there are conflicting reports on Hangman Adam Page following Wednesday's show. While Fightful said that he was completely okay, it was noted on Thursday's Wrestling Observer Radio that Page is hurt. Brian Alvarez noted that he has to have looked at, and it could have been a broken ankle, but it does appear to be a serious ankle injury. Sometimes we have people getting injured and we don't know anything about it. They don't say anything, but this guy is fighting for the world title in a little over a week. So if he's got a broken ankle, I think that we're going to hear about it real quick because they're going to have to come up with something. Dave Meltzer agreed that and said that if Page can compete at AEW Revolution, an announcement will likely be made on Saturday. They'll have to say something. It will be on Saturday's show one way or the other if they don't announce something even sooner. But I think that on Saturday's show, they'll have to address it if they think that he can't go. However, Fightful Select then had the real report that Hangman Adam Page is not hurt following the match. He was helped to the backstage area and limped the entire way. But once he got backstage, he was said to be perfectly fine. One talent noted that Page is okay and quote unquote just good at his job. It remains to be seen if Page's selling is part of an angle for his feud with Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe ahead of Revolution. And it was also noted by Brian Alvarez on the Wrestling Observer message board that he acted like he had an injury because he may miss Revolution anyway for a personal reason. Basically, Brian, I realize you were proven wrong, and then you came up with that reasoning. That was even worse. That was worse.
They've been doing that shit a lot lately, and that's why I don't know. It's a little weird. I'm sticking with what SRS said. Yeah, he's fine. People just say he's at his job. I'll stick with that until further notice.
Trey Jones saying, "Look at the lion, bruv. Look at the lion, bruv. Come on, man. Let's go." We got Stuart James who says, "Really can't wait for Mercedes Mone to debut." You like a lot of people ready for that. And then AEW Rampage last night. Or no, excuse me. I'm used to us doing on Saturday.
Collision.
Rampage Friday night.
The
show featured Penta El Zero Mero, Commander, and Brian Keith beating Matt Sydal, Private Party, Action Andretti, and Top Flight in a fun three-way trios matchup. You had wrong one. You had Roderick Strong getting the win over Jake Hager in the main event. And you also had Saraya introducing her brother, Zach Zodiac, and revealed that she wanted to set Ruby Soho up with him before she became smitten with Cool Hand Angelo Parker, while Mariah May picked up the victory over Anna Jay in a good matchup on the show as well. So, and then you had AEW Collision last night. The show featured Bryan Danielson defeating Jun Akiyama in a superb main event matchup. After the matchup, they cut a brilliant angle where Bryan flipped off Eddie Kingston on commentary, which led to Akiyama slapping him in the face. Bryan then low blow Akiyama. Kingston came in to fight with Bryan until Claudio came out to attack him. And then FTR came out to make the save to end the show to set up FTR and Eddie Kingston versus the Blackpool Combat Club this Wednesday on Dynamite. But everybody's talking about this match coming out of last night's Collision. Powerhouse Hobbs beating Sammy Guevara in an awesome, insane, no DQ matchup that had 3 of the most insane spots of the year so far. First one was Powerhouse Hobbs catching Sammy coming off the ropes, giving him a thunderous spine buster through 2 tables at ringside. Sammy Guevara doing this insane swanton off the top of a ladder through 2 tables on Powerhouse Hobbs. And the finish that saw Powerhouse Hobbs doing a world's strongest slam off the second rope on Sammy through a table to get the win in this one. You also had FTR beat Shane Taylor Promotions in a solid bout. Serena Deeb beat Lady Frost. Post-match, Deeb once again called out both Julia Hart and Timeless Toni Storm, while Malachi Black defeated Brian Keith in a good matchup in Malachi's first AEW matchup in nearly 2 years. Post-match, Mark Briscoe attempted to attack the Malachi Black, but the House of Black came out to jump him. So really good episode.
You mean that's a singles match in 2 years?
Malachi Black, his first singles match in AEW in 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, because that's what I said. He's done tag matches, but okay, his singles matches. Got it. Damn,
Yeah.
2 years? Wow, Jesus.
Yeah. Last singles
Terrible.
match was June 2022.
Wow.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
PW Insider had some feedback on one of the notes that we just mentioned from Rampage and Collision. PW Insider revealed that Soraya's younger brother, Zach Zodiac, aka Zach Knight, has officially signed with All Elite Wrestling. This was alluded to by Saraya on Friday night's Rampage, but Tony Khan has yet to confirm it, as he usually does with the hashtag All Elite graphic. But it seems like Zach Zodiac's going to be a part of her storyline with Ruby Soho, which I'm actually entertained by that storyline more
I'm
than
okay
I
with it. It's fine. Sure. Got to give him something to do. So
give him something. Yeah, it's fun. You'll be here.
You know what's funny? Oh, I'll add to this because I remember me and John, we were kind of having a debate on Wednesday during Elite Heat about the state of AEW. And, you know, he's talking about like how about like the stories that they need to be committed to and all this stuff, right? Which I wasn't disagreeing with him, but I was falling back on them doing the alternative of what they present with wrestling, because I'm like, if you just want them to be like WWE, then just say that. But this was one of the things that was mentioned, the Saraya Ruby storyline. It got mentioned, and then he was like, "Oh, like did they even touch on that?" I was like, "Yeah, they did last week." And that's part of the problem, too, with a lot of AEW fans. And I'm not saying Stat King. I'm just saying that it's the fact that if you're just not watching it, it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah.
Because they have been doing this every week. Like the Ruby and Saraya stuff has been going on every week. Now, if you're missing it, you're not seeing it because you only watch Dynamite, then that's on you for missing that.
Yeah. It's just an example of like certain fans, like they'll miss a week and then be like, "Was this even talked about?" And you missed it. You missed it. That's not them that missed it. It's you that missed it.
Right? Like, why do you do that? Why you could have just went back and just like seen what happened instead of questioning the whole thing. Like you knew you missed it. That's not our fault.
Yeah. Like Power Driver Finisher, Fifth Ray. Like, yeah, plenty of folks saying there's no story when there clearly is. Yeah, there was people that was saying there was no story to Bryan Danielson versus Jun Akiyama. I was like, Brian's feuding with Eddie Kingston, and Bryan now is
his mentor.
Eddie Kingston's mentor and hero. It's like, not like they're not giving you like the Propantheum theory of like, and you're trying to figure out that. They're just giving you very simple storytelling, and you're saying there's no story. There's something wrong with you.
But sometimes that's how you got to do it. Like, you know, like it's other people involved that has to do with them. That's how it's presented yesterday. Like they even mentioned it, like, yeah, that's his mentor. That's somebody he looks up to. That's one of his heroes.
Yep.
It all makes sense. Like that's the story right there. Boom. It's a one-off. Like, you know, Akiyama's not going to stay. You know, it's a one-off. So of course, like that. You know, to me, it was just like, yeah, that makes sense for me. And it was very entertaining. It was very technical. Like it was pretty. It was really good.
It was a great
was
match.
really good.
But let's talk about great matches. RevPro High Stakes. Reason why it is here is because RevPro became a part of the Converse during their last show, High Stakes in London, England, and that was because it was the historic final independent UK show for Will Ospreay before he officially becomes #Hall Elite. And what did he go up and do? He had an absolutely incredible, epic encounter that many people are calling not only the match of the year, but one of the greatest matches ever against Michael Oku, where Michael Oku defeated him for the first time ever to retain the RevPro British Undisputed Heavyweight Championship in what was Ospreay's final UK indie matchup. Post-match, Ospreay cut a farewell emotional promo thanking the fans, RevPro, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and AEW's president Tony Khan, who was there in attendance, rooting him on. Speaking of his brethren in the UK scene, Zack Sabre Jr. came out and had an emotional embrace with him after his speech. Zack Sabre Jr. earlier in the night beat Connor Mills in a terrific technical wrestling clinic, while AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy made a surprise appearance to win a 7-way opener to retain the AEW International Championship. And then the final show from the Converse this week was ROH TV on Honor Club. And they had a great match there, as well as Athena defeated Nyla Rose in a wild 2 out of 3 falls tables match to retain the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. You also had Billy Starks, Abaddon, Red Velvet, and Taya Valkyrie all advance in the ROH Women's TV title tournament as well. So a good week from the Converse, ROH, RevPro, all that stuff. Josh, were you able to watch that RevPro, Michael Oku and Ospreay match?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yes, I wasn't sure if I asked you that or Romeo that. I know Romeo saw it, but I wasn't sure if you saw it as well. That match was unreal. That
I saw
and
highlights on YouTube. It looks really good.
Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. was my match of the year after Osaka, but it's very close with Oku and Ospreay now. Like,
yeah, I was like, damn.
Neck and neck. Yeah. It's like, damn, you couldn't even let them have a week? They couldn't even have a week with the match of the year? Damn it. Jeez.
You know that's haters. That's what they do.
Always hating on my man Bryan. Yo, Bryan, this is final year. What the hell? Can't let that
They don't want him to
live.
be great. Yep. They don't want him to be great, yo.
Well, full-time year.
Yeah. Frantic Girl says that match was amazing. Now I want RevPro involved in the Forbidden Door pay-per-views. I mean, RevPro doesn't have a lot of guys that are like RevPro guys. They have your Connor Mills, you got your Michael Okus, you got your RKJs, but there's not a ton of guys that are on their roster.
Yeah. They'll need something like prominent for that to happen. Just because they're more independent, right? I believe RevPro is more independent, so it's it's not like what Progress would have been, because Progress was like that at one point until WWE just annihilated them with their talent. So
I call it fleecing. They fleeced those motherfuckers.
Fleeced the fuck out of them. If it was a situation like that, then yeah, because at that point, Progress, they had the British Strong Style, all 3 members. They had Walter, who's Gunther now. So they have prominent talent that you could do it with. RevPro, as though as they put on great shows, they just don't have that roster just because it's independent. When you have an independent roster, that's that's the toughest part about that.
Exactly. It's hard to retain people a lot. But let's go over to Japan for New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Beginning in Sapporo, Day 1. Krssi Love, you could probably message Top Guy JJ if he wants to watch me rant about New Japan and this fucking awful pair of shows.
Okay,
the show featured Day 1 in Sapporo, featured the Wanted Man, Nick Nemeth, beating David Finlay in a good main event matchup to win the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. However, this capped off a night that featured some of the most mind-numbing results I have seen in a New Japan Pro Wrestling event ever. You got the guy that got fired from WWE, not just released. He got fired, basically.
He got fired, yeah.
Matt Riddle, who shows up in New Japan and beats the fucking president of the company to become the NJPW World Television Champion in an upset win. Not too mad about that one. I'm not too mad about it because I expected that one. But what the fuck did they do to my IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship? Show defeated El Desperado, yes, Show of the House of Torture, via countout to win the title. And this was after El Desperado got back into the ring. The referee doesn't even turn around to see he's back in the ring. And Ren Narita pulls him out, chokes him up. And that's how he loses the Junior Heavyweight Championship that he just won last month over Hiromu Takahashi. And then the one match that there should have been a title change did not have a title change as Evil beat Shota Umino. Yes, the same Shota Umino.
Oh, did I say Evil was going?
The same Shota Umino that New Japan expects to be the replacement for a Kashiko Okada. You also a fucking House of Torture nonsense. What the fuck are we doing?
Go ahead, continue ranting.
Meanwhile, Kashiko Okada and Chaos beat United Empire in Okada's second to last New Japan matchup. And then we had day 2, which was like a clusterfuck of get me excited to let me down, basically. The show featured Tetsuya Naito beating Sonata in a somewhat enjoyable main event that fell apart at the fucking end to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Then in their big moment, their big match, the biggest match of their career so far, Yota Tsuji and Yuya Uemura took a fart in church. They took a shit on the pews and had a boring ass hair versus hair matchup that everybody online is shitting on because it was supposed to be a hair versus hair match between two bitter rivals, and they went out there and had a technical wrestling match for 30 minutes. Not what the people expected. Post-match, Uemura chose to shave his own head. Meanwhile, we had the good part of the show. There was a good part before the final 2 matches, where Taichi defeated Shingo Takagi in a blistering banger of a matchup. Doki pulled off the biggest upset of his career, beating Hiromu Takahashi in a brilliant sprint. You had Bushi beat Takamichi Noku. El Desperado and Hikuleo defeated the Gorillas of Destiny, who came out in their old gear, old face paint, and came out to their old theme in Tama Tonga's final New Japan Pro Wrestling matchup. And Kashiko Okada took his final farewells as he teamed up with Chaos to beat United Empire in Okada's final New Japan matchup. Now, New Japan. I'm gonna need Gato. I'm gonna need New Japan management, Tanahashi, if y'all watching. I have 2 kids. I have 2 3-year-olds. They're gonna be 4 years old on March 7th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I already don't get enough sleep. But I do plan out when there's a major New Japan show to get some sleep and to wake up on time and watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to sit there at 6 a.m. in the morning regretting my decision like I did after these 2 shows.
He did.
Please don't do that to me ever again, New Japan. Please get better from what this New Beginning tour. There was the Osaka show that was great, but the entire New Beginning show made me very depressed about the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling post Okada, Ospreay, and Tama Tonga.
Sorry, friend, that you had to go through that stuff. You know,
frustrating. I've never been that frustrated watching a New Japan.
Is this the downfall of what New Japan is looking like?
I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping that this is just a bump in the road. A bump in the road. From hope. I'm a hope. I'm a hope for them. I love you, New Japan. You're my favorite company. I don't want to talk about y'all like this. But god damn it, did these 2 shows disappoint. God damn it. So disappointing.
Sorry.
Big Hero Chris says SP3 ranting pops me every time. Thank you. Well, at least someone gets some enjoyment out of this because I don't get enjoyment out of being mean to New Japan. Frantic Girl saying, yeah, I'm not watching those New Japan shows. Thanks and sorry, SP3 for telling us what happened.
Oh God, I can't.
Dolores says, I was upset. I feel like NJPW be trying to kill me. Lord help me. Like I'm already on just a little bit of sleep. God damn it.
Hey, Dolores girl.
Hey Dolores. Thanks for showing us in the chat. God damn it. Yeah, but a news coming out of New Beginning, they did have Jack Perry make another appearance, this time via a vignette following Shota Umino's tag team win on day 2. On the Saturday show, we had a video air from the AEW star who made a surprise appearance at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle in the Valley and attacked Shota Umino before ripping up his AEW contract. And it was announced this week, Jack Perry will be in action at Windy City Riot. Do you expect us to see Shooter versus Jungle Boy at Windy City Riot, Josh?
Should be. If that's what you're building up to, might as well do it there.
Yeah, I think so. I love what Shooter said after the matchup. He basically said, "Was that Jungle Boy?" Which the commentary team told him yes, and he says, "No." They said, "Oh no." They said they don't call him that anymore. He says, "I don't care. I'll beat his ass." He said it in English too, which was great, great stuff by Shota Umino. Great stuff. All right, let's finish off what we missed this week with TNA Impact. The show featured the System beating Alex Shelley, Kushida, and Kevin Knight in a very fun trios main event, while Chris Sabin beat Jason Hodge in a tune-up match before facing Mustafa Ali at the pay-per-view. Steve Macklin picked up a win over Trent Seven, and that took us into TNA No Surrender on Friday night, which featured the first X Division main event matchup in nearly 20 years, since 2005, as Mustafa Ali defeated Chris Sabin in a great main event matchup to win the X Division Championship. Yeah, hot girl summer. There you go, Miss Krssi Love. Mustafa Ali starting
Yes! And he made it in his first year. Look at him. Look at this. We winning already.
Moose beat Alex Shelley in the first ever No Surrender rules match to retain the TNA Heavyweight Championship after Kushida threw in the towel for him. Speaking of the world title, Eric Young defeated Frankie Kazarian to become the #1 contender. He will face Moose in a first-time ever matchup as sacrifice for the TNA Heavyweight title. Jordan Grace beat Giselle Shaw in a thrilling sprint to retain the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Josh Alexander defeated Simon Gotch in a hard-hitting affair. MK Ultra regained the TNA Knockouts Tag Team titles, defeating Decay. And ABC won the best-of-3 series, defeating Grizzled Young Veterans in a very good bout to retain the TNA World Tag Team titles. So great stuff all around. TNA No Surrender, really good show. Yeah. I really enjoyed the Mustafa Ali and Chris Sabin match. But Grizzled Young Vets seem like they're going to be on their way out. They recently talked about asking for their WWE release in an interview with Fightful. Drake on their release, he says it was around about March or April. I think, to be honest, it was around about just after NXT TakeOver WrestleMania weekend. We did that show, and honestly, the match we did on that show, I thoroughly enjoyed. The crowd were going crazy for it. It was a very story-driven match. Really happy with the match, but it just felt at that time, it felt like that it was our exit for us. It wasn't at that point we decided. It was something we were in conversations for a year before then, as we saw a lot of our colleagues move on from the brand as they felt what was best for them. A lot of them have done well for themselves. It just felt like we were, without trying to say we were victims, because we're not, but we were just victims of bad timing when it came to our career within NXT America. The original plan was we were going to move out at the beginning of January 2020. We were actually in the process of going back and forth in January 2020 and March 2020. Every week we were doing NXT TV on a Wednesday night at the time. We were flying home. We were finishing up our UK indies on the weekends, and then we pack our bags and take more of our stuff over to an apartment that WWE very kindly offered us. We'd actually moved all of our belongings over there over a 6-week period. In that final week, when we were actually got rid of all of our stuff, we had landlocked in the UK and did COVID. But that was the original plan for us to move out then and then steamroll into the WrestleMania takeover that year. So little insight into their time, asking for their release before getting it. But they've been hitting the ground running, been doing their thing. I was very surprised they didn't win the TNA tag team titles, though.
It's fine. They
Same.
got time.
They got time, but I mean, like, you got to freshen up the scene. Like, I talked about it with Joe Pearl on the Fightful review, but ABC, I love them as a tag team, but I just feel they would be better chasing the titles. Yeah. I just feel like they would be better chasing the titles. That's just
okay.
Me. But that brings us to the end of what we missed. So the only thing left for us to do is Miss Krssi Love's favorite time of the show. It's time for the matches of the week, where we usually give our top 3, top 5 from this past week. But I'm sorry, guys, there was a lot of professional wrestling, so I have like 10 matches I have to mention. I'm sorry.
Good for you. I can't wait to hit all 10 of them. Go ahead.
It was a busy. I watched a lot of pro wrestling this weekend, guys. So I was not gonna jip myself on naming all these matches. Honorable mentions to Ali versus Sabin from TNA No Surrender, FTR versus BCC from Dynamite, Cody versus Drew from Raw. All of my honorable mentions. Now, number 10, men's Elimination Chamber matchup. Just really enjoyed all the setup for WrestleMania. Really good matchup. Number 9 for me, Bryan Danielson versus Jun Akiyama from Collision. A technical wrestling gem, just a clinic between two legends. Number 8, the women's Elimination Chamber matchup. I just thought it was more fun and more people got more out of that matchup to me. And it just had better action than the men's chamber. Number 7, Luke Jacobs versus JJ Gale from RevPro High Stakes. Really good matchup. JJ Gale is like a young Matt Sydal. Keep your eyes on that guy. He's only been wrestling for like less than a year. But Luke Jacobs is like the future of RevPro over there. Number 6, Gunther versus Jey Uso from Raw. Great match. Number 5, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Sammy Guevara from Collision last night. That was just insane. Number 4,
showcasing Hobbs in a great way. Like, sorry.
And Sammy's not the type of guy who's going to put on great stories or be a great character. He's just a guy who's going to go out there and put on crazy spots. Do crazy spots.
That's his one job.
Sometimes you need that.
He knows his assignment when he does it correctly.
Number 4, Doki versus Hiromu Takahashi from New Beginning and Sapporo Day 2. Number 3, Taichi versus Shingo from New Beginning and Sapporo Day 2. Both of those matches great in their own ways. Doki and Hiromu's a fast-paced junior heavyweight championship type matchup. Taichi and Shingo is like your banger, hit each other as hard as you can, never open weight type matchup. Number 2, ZSJ versus Connor Mills from RevPro High Stakes. Technical wrestling clinic, like in the same form of Bryan and Akiyama. But number 1, obviously, Michael Oku, Will Ospreay, RevPro High Stakes. One of the best stories I've ever seen done in the ring. Krssi, what's your matches of the week?
My match number 5 is Gunther and Jay. Number 4 is going to be Blackpool Combat versus FTR. Number 3, Men's Chamber. 2, Women's Chamber. 1, Will Ospreay.
Michael Oku. Josh.
Number 5, I have the men's chamber match. Number 4, women's chamber match. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Sammy versus Hobbs. Number 2, I'm gonna go with BCC versus FTR, and then number 1, Oku versus Ospreay at RevPro.
Seems like it's unanimous this week from us. Eric Isaac says Jay versus Gunther, Cody versus Drew, Ali versus Saban, Joe, Swerve and Cage versus Paige, RVD and Hook, Women's Elimination Chamber, Hobbs and Guevara. There was just so many great matches this week. This was a
I
busy
remember.
week.
I didn't get to say Ali. Crap.
Ali and Saban, that was a great match.
Dang it.
That's why I had to put that in my. That's why I had to come up with 10 because I was like, I'm still gonna mention this too, so I had to give 10. But what a week in wrestling, and what a show to cap it all off. Thank you, Krssi Love. Thank you, Josh. But thank you to all of you who joined us live on this special Sunday edition of our flagship podcast. We'll be back on Saturday. Next Saturday, me and Josh will be together live in Greensboro for next week's flagship podcast.
Nice.
So before we give the sign-offs for myself, Krssi Love, you can go first. Ladies first. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media.
Hey friends. So you can follow me. IG is Krssi Love _1. Tru Heel Krssi Love is on X Twitter. You can follow us, the flagship podcast, Tru Heel Heat, every Saturday, 11:05. We'll be back next Saturday. You guys will be together. Same time, I'm guessing, correct? Because there's no time difference because you're going to be in the East Coast still.
Yeah, the Greensboro is still East.
No, yeah, that's
time.
Still Eastern time. So we'll still be here at 11:05. Friday SmackDown review with BodySlam.net with Stephanie Hype. So we'll be there for that. We didn't have an episode because the show was pre-recorded, so there's nothing to review. If you already knew though what was going to happen anyway. So yeah, so we'll be back this week. And yes, hopefully we'll have Servant Face and Hills come back. And other than that, you can find me. Hit me up. I do roundtables. I do guest appearances, and that's just me.
Josh, let the people know where they can follow you.
You can follow me, JMPunk321, Twitter and Instagram. Every Wednesdays for Elite Heat. I'll be on this Wednesday for the Go Home show, and I'll be on next weekend. Tru Heel Heat. What is it? 266, right?
You're gonna be recording in the hotel room.
Yeah, no, we'll be live.
We'll be at Kelvin's. We're at Kelvin's place.
Yeah, we're gonna be at Kelvin's place.
Can we have Kane come on? Oh, that's so exciting! That's great. Oh my gosh.
Well, his ass better behave. That's all I know.
Oh.
God damn!
Yeah, you go. Some godparent you are. Look at that.
Like, Uncle Josh got the belt.
Hey, I'm just like, if you're familiar with Dragon Ball Z, I'm like Piccolo. He's like Gohan. That's how I'm gonna treat him.
You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. And check out all the great content we got on our Tru Heel Heat sports and entertainment channel. We'll have some more content next week, starting with our entertainment stuff there. And we got the shorts that recap the NBA coverage, so you can check that out as well right now. And check out all the great content we got on this channel.
Slam dunk thing. Ugh.
Absolutely. Check out our WWE Elimination Chamber perf review with me and Josh breaking down this weekend's show. Me and Sanal will be back with you live tomorrow, 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time, with our NJPW, The New Beginning in Sapporo review, where I will give a thorough examination of these god-awful fucking shows from New Japan and why Gato needs to be replaced by me and Sanal. So check that out tomorrow at 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time. For Miss Krssi Love, for the True Jaw Josh, for Top Guy JJ, for all of you, thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of the Flagship Podcast. This has been Tru Heel Heat 265, beginning to surrender in the chamber. We are signing off until next time.
Later.